Welcome to the deep side. This is Mike Allen, and you're tuned in to Digging in the Word. Digging in the Word, yeah, we going in deep. Truth for your heart and the wisdom you keep. Line by line, every seed gon' grow. With Mike Allen breaking down what you need to know. Digging in the Word, let the Spirit speak. Life in your steps and strength for the weak. Every page turn, hit your soul so clean. Digging in the Word, where the truth is seen.
Turn it up now, let the Word unfold. Breaking down scripture with a fire so bold. From Genesis lines to the prophets and kings, we're learning how to walk through the storms life brings. Hope for the hurting, peace for the day. Mike Allen brings the truth in a fresh new way. Open up your heart, let the message be heard. This is real life talk when we dig in the Word.
Digging in the Word, yeah, we going in deep. Truth for your heart and the wisdom you keep. Line by line, every seed gon' grow. With Mike Allen breaking down what you need to know. Digging in the Word, let the Spirit speak. Life in your steps and strength for the weak. Every page turn, hits your soul so clean. Digging in the Word, where the truth is seen.
Bible in your hand, mind locked in place. Truth on the mic, this is food for your faith. We don't chase hype, just the Father we serve. And every episode hits you right in the Word. Step by step, yeah, we walk in the light. Breaking down darkness with truth so bright. So relax, lean in, let the message be heard. This is Mike Allen, digging in the Word.
Digging in the Word. Oh, yeah. Yeah, digging in the Word. So deep. Mike Allen on the mic every week. Digging in the Word.
Fade with ad-libs.
Yeah.
Keep digging. Keep growing. Stay in the truth.
Yeah. Welcome to the deep side. This is Mike Allen, and you're tuned in to Digging in the Word. Digging in the Word, yeah, we going in deep. Truth for your heart and the wisdom you keep. Line by line, every seed gon' grow. With Mike Allen breaking down what you need to know. Digging in the Word, let the Spirit speak. Life in your steps and strength for the weak. Every page turn, hit your soul so clean. Digging in the Word, where the truth is seen.
Turn it up now, let the Word unfold. Breaking down scripture with a fire so bold. From Genesis lines to the prophets and kings, we're learning how to walk through the storms life brings. Hope for the hurting, peace for the day. Mike Allen brings the truth in a fresh new way. Open up your heart, let the message be heard. This is real life talk when we dig in the Word.
Digging in the Word, yeah, we going in deep. Truth for your heart and the wisdom you keep. Line by line, every seed gon' grow. With Mike Allen breaking down what you need to know. Digging in the Word, let the Spirit speak. Life in your steps and strength for the weak. Every page turn, hits your soul so clean. Digging in the Word, where the truth is seen.
Bible in your hand, mind locked in place. Truth on the mic, this is food for your faith. We don't chase hype, just the Father we serve. And every episode hits you right in the Word. Step by step, yeah, we walk in the light. Breaking down darkness with truth so bright. So relax, lean in, let the message be heard. This is Mike Allen, digging in the Word.
Digging in the Word. Oh, yeah. Yeah, digging in the Word. So deep. Mike Allen on the mic every week. Digging in the Word.
Fade with ad-libs.
Yeah.
Keep digging. Keep growing. Stay in the truth.
Yeah. Welcome to the deep side. This is Mike Allen, and you're tuned in to Digging in the Word. Digging in the Word, yeah, we going in deep. Truth for your heart and the wisdom you keep. Line by line, breaking down what you need to know. Digging in the word, let the Spirit speak. Life in your steps and strength for the weak. Every page turned, hit your soul so clean. Digging in the word, where the truth is seen.
Turn it up now, let the word unfold. Breaking down scripture with a fire so bold. From Genesis lines to the prophets and kings. We're learning how to walk through the storms life brings. Hope for the hurting, peace for the day. Mike Allen brings the truth in a fresh new way. Open up your heart, let the message be heard. This is real life talk when we dig in the word.
Digging in the word, yeah, we going in deep. Truth for your heart and the wisdom you keep. Line by line, every seed gon' grow. With Mike Allen breaking down what you need to know. Digging in the word, let the Spirit speak. Life in your steps and strength for the weak. Every page turn, hit your soul so clean. Digging in the word, where the truth is seen.
Bible in your hand, mind locked in place. Truth on the mic, this is food for your faith. We don't chase hype, just the Father we serve. And every episode hits you right in the word. Step by step, yeah, we walk in the light. Breaking down darkness with truth so bright. So relax, lean in, let the message be heard. This is Mike Allen, digging in the word.
Digging in the word. Oh, yeah. Yeah, digging in the word. So deep. Mike Allen on the mic every week. Digging in the word.
Fade with ad-libs.
Yeah.
Keep digging, keep growing, stay in the truth.
Don't forget to like this video if you like it. Click subscribe, click notifications for future contents, and don't forget to share it with a friend. Don't forget to like this video if you like it. Click subscribe, click notifications for future contents, and don't forget to share it with a friend. Shalom, shalom. Greetings, everyone. Blessings, blessings to you all. Blessings to you all. Great. How's everyone doing today? Blessings. Good to see you all here today, piling in as I'm seeing the numbers increase in the chat room. I'm Mike Allen here on Man Cave Mondays on Digging in the Word. And I have my friends in the background, my family, and we're about to bring them on so we could get this show started tonight. All right. Booyah! Look who's there. What's going on?
Hey, what it do? What it do?
What it do? It did what it did, and it did what it don't.
And it did what it was gonna do.
And I don't know what to do. Yeah, what's going on, Ak? How you doing?
What I'm not doing is I'm not digging in the snow.
You got to get in the snow. Yeah, that was a good one, Graybeard. That was a good one.
Shout out to Brother Graybeard on that one. Yeah,
that was a good one. Digging in the snow for sure. I was digging in the snow. I dug last night, and I dug this evening.
Not this guy.
No, not you. Right. All right. How about I send you some in the mail?
Nah. Hey, look, you can keep all that.
I'm gonna text you some right now.
Mm-mm.
It never snows by you. It never snows by you at all. No.
Yeah. Like when we first moved here that year, it snowed, but it wasn't extreme. Not like what he dealing with. That ain't kingdom righteousness right there. That's judgment right there.
Yeah. There's no snow in the kingdom right now. No snow in the kingdom.
If there is snow, we'll be equipped so that it ain't cold to us.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe.
I believe that. Yeah. He said no thanks God, 6 or so inches here in north central Arkansas. A lot of states got hit with snow. How many states was it that got hit with snow? Graybeard, do you know that? About how many states actually got hit with snow? I know it was a lot of states. Somebody told me the number was somewhere like around 12 states.
Really?
Man, a
Wow.
lot of states got hit. Like this is like a massive storm, right? Wow, it's crazy. It's crazy. Listen, nobody's greater than y'all. Most from Texas to Maine. That is crazy. So that's more than 12 states. Wow, that's more than 12
Yeah,
states.
it didn't hit Alabama, but it did hit Tennessee, which is right above Alabama.
Mhm.
So Tennessee, Kentucky. I don't know about Georgia or the Carolinas, but like going up that way,
Mhm.
straight up, I know they did.
Straight up the East Coast, right?
But Alabama didn't get none.
Yeah. Wow. You just missed it. You just missed the bullet.
Hey, that's called being strategically placed.
Big strategic place. Okay. You knew that. That's why you moved there, right?
Right.
They're gonna get a snowstorm in 2026, and
Hey, that may, yeah.
I'm not gonna be there.
27 might come, but I
You
might
might get it.
not be here.
Listen, I remember one year, man. I saw it was a blizzard in Texas,
Yes, I was there.
and I remember you was there, and I remember
I was
seeing the
there.
dude. I remember seeing the dude. He had his coat on and a pair of shorts.
You New Yorkers and some Timberlands.
Yeah, it was like some boots. He had shorts on, and he had a coat. It was like, yeah, he is not used to the cold.
That's very believable.
Yeah, it's like it's just snuck up on him, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we were there. We had a snowball fight and all kind of stuff in the yard. There was doing little snow angels in this. I'm like, this is cute. This because this won't happen again.
Yeah, right. For another how many years?
Yeah, like 10 years. But I mean, we moved, so it's possible it could. Like I said, the first year here it snowed.
Hold on a sec. I'm just answering the message.
Brother Bear says snow is bad down here. No snow tires, and they don't know how to drive in it. Yeah, don't know how to drive in it. It's so dangerous.
Yeah. People, places that are not used to rain, not used to driving it. It definitely affects the normalcy of how people drive, especially if they're not used to it, not accustomed to it.
Therefore,
For sure.
they should stay home. They should stay home.
Yeah, they should stay home, right? Like it kind of like cripples them, right? Cripples drivers. Yeah, but that's most of the people. Like most of the people, you go to those places, they're not accustomed to it. They don't know how to drive, and they slipping and sliding. Cars going like this, ducktailing.
Yeah.
Wow. It's good. All right, so we need to start with the word of prayer. I see he's doing something. I guess I can open us up. Aki, you can open us up in a word of prayer.
Absolutely.
All right, cool.
Abba Yah, we come before you right now, and we say Torah Rabbah. We are thankful for your love and kindness that you pour on your people and how you look out for us, even in situations like this. We are grateful for every way that you have provided for us and how you have kept us safe from hurt, harm, and danger thus far. We ask that your loving hand continue to rest upon us, that we are able to honor you in both word and deed. We ask that you be with us on this live stream tonight with such a sensitive topic, yet we ask that we're able to have fun and learn of your ways so that we can ultimately honor you and the establishment of kingdom the way you have set it up. May we operate with respect to that here on this plane. We ask that you be with all those who are carrying children, that they continue in their pregnancies and that they have safe deliveries. All those that have delivered children We ask that you be with the emote in the healing process. Those that desire children, regardless of age, Abiyah, we ask that you grant petitions. And we ask that all that are sick in any capacity, in any facet of the word, that you bring healing to your people so that they can lift up your name and glorify you because of the work that you have done. You are the ultimate need meter, and we ask that you meet our needs according to as you have said, as we are obedient to your instruction. And we ask all these things in Hashem Yahushua and Hashem Yah. Hallelujah.
Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Amen. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Yeah, we're calling up Brother Torah apologist. He's under the weather. So he was gonna come, but he couldn't make it with us tonight. So Brother Jeremy,
Good, I can talk in my normal voice.
yeah, you can talk, you know.
Like I'm ready. I got hot tea and everything. I'm like, oh, we about to do this.
They turn up the treble.
Yo, turn up the bass. Yes.
You'll never find.
Man, look, he got to talking and I was like, you're a liar, Mr. Grinch. Woo!
Oh man.
I was like, let me up my game. Eat some rocks or something. God,
that was funny last week when I asked you to read the scripture. You said you want me to follow that.
Follow that? Yeah.
That was so funny, man.
Look, all I heard in my head was, Simba, you deliberately disobeyed me. I was like, we got him.
Yeah, I bet he is laughing right now. Yo, Torah apologist, laughter does good like medicines. I know you laughing right now.
Yeah, hey, that's what scripture says. That's script.
Yes,
that's script.
Yes. So laugh on. All right, well, we're going to welcome everyone to Man Cave Mondays with Mike Allen and friends. I'm Mike Allen, and this is my family. And we have another brand new, spanking off the press show for you guys. It's as Brother Yahweh said, it's a sensitive topic. It's a topic that definitely we need to address. We need to deal with this topic. We need to talk about this because this is a bigger problem than we often think. And, it's important that we talk about these important topics because, this is how we get our healing, right? We don't heal without confession, which means that we don't heal without talking about it, right? We don't heal without good communication, good counsel, right? So it's important that we talk about these things. So yeah, we're going to dig in this particular topic today is how Yah uses polygamy to set you free from pornography addiction. All right, there's a typo here. Let me get this typo out. Matter of fact, we just take the word to. Just take the word to.
Pornographic addiction.
Yes. Yeah, it's a typo. All right. Okay, here we go. Thank you. All right, how Yah uses polygamy. I should have kept the word to in there. I took it out. Why did I take it out?
I would say how Yah can use.
Yeah. Boom. All right, here we go. That should do it right there. How Yah can use polygamy to set you free from pornography addiction. Yeah, she should have kept the Y in there. We're gonna get it right tonight. We're gonna get it right, and then we're gonna go home. All right. So how Yah can use polygamy to set you free from pornography addiction. Yah can set you free from pornography addiction. Yes, people. Y'all can set you free. As we're going to see tonight, we're going to go through these banners. We're going to ask these questions. We're going to go through these scriptures. We're going to give this information. We're going to talk. We're going to answer questions, right? We're going to have a discussion, and iron's going to sharpen iron, and we're going to encourage one another, and we are going to discover by the end of tonight that y'all can use polygamy to set you free for pornography addiction.
Now, there are going to be some times where I go off screen, but I'm going to be like the Ruach HaKodesh. And although you may not be able to see me, I'm still here.
In your Charlton Heston's voice? Moses. Moses.
Woo! That's the plan.
That's the plan. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Moses.
So if I disappear off screen, I'm still here.
You're still here in the Ruach. In the Ruach.
In the flesh, but you won't see me.
Okay.
But it'll only be for like brief moments.
But just know that you're there.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
That's good. So now we don't have to be scared. We don't have to be scared of the boogeyman.
It is.
Because big brother Yahuwah is going to still be there.
A little brother. You big brother.
Hey, man. I'm only 3'5".
I don't believe that in the slightest. I don't believe that even a little bit.
All right, come on, man. You holding me up. I'm trying to get started and trying to get it going, man. And
you know what?
Me up. You doing that on purpose. Sister D, I think you muted. You're muted. You're muted, Sister D. You're muted. Can't hear you. You're muted. Still muted. All right. So while she's getting that, if you guys did not catch this past Shabbat morning Bible dig live streaming, we had a really good time that morning. Definitely going over. I suggest you going over to the live stream tab on this channel, digging in the word, and definitely go and check out that live stream for this past Shabbat morning Bible dig.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. She has audio. Houston, we can hear her.
Let me just put this a little bit for you. This is just only 30 seconds. Let me just
put it
quickly for you guys here.
What app are you guys addicted to? What? Pornhub. That is the most honest answer. In front of a room full of people, his whole family's here. It's just like Pornhub. I've been waiting a long time to get this off my chest. This is an intervention, sir. What do you watch on Pornhub? No. What app are you guys addicted to?
Wow. What is Pornhub now? Those of you know, you know. Those of you who know, you know. Right? With Pornhub. Pornhub is actually a pornographic website, which also has an app, right? I believe. I think that's what he says. I'm not really sure. But it's a pornographic, I'm sure they all probably have apps, right? I mean, it's the way of communicating with your audience, right? We need to get an app, right?
Yeah.
We need to get an app for sure. Yeah. For sure. We need to get an app.
Digging in the word app.
Digging in the word app, exactly. So yeah, and it's an app. And so funny joke, right? But that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. We're going to be talking how y'all can use polygamy to set you free actually from pornography addiction.
Oh, so look who's here, brother. He's on.
Shalom. Blessings, Torah apologists. All right. So, starting off with this first question, what is porn addiction and what are some of its symptoms in men? This is a male-centered topic tonight, so a lot of the questions are going to be addressing, or if not all of them are going to be addressing men. So what is porn addiction and what are some of its symptoms in men? If it's an addiction, it has symptoms. So what is it and what are some of its symptoms found in men? So definitely you in the chat, let us know what is porn addiction and what are some of its symptoms that is often found or commonly found in men. Give you a moment to type that in. Brother Yahuel, can you hear me? He said he'll be able to hear us. He did not. He
I can hear you.
He
I
lied. All right, you want to take a jab at that question? What is porn addiction, and what are some of its symptoms in men?
Give me a minute.
Okay. All right. He got to disappear again in his disappearance.
It's okay. Did you want me to? Did you want me to play the one about the young boys on the TikTok? I can show you that.
Is it revealing about young boys and
some of the symptoms that they go through?
some of the symptoms? Okay.
Well, we got some hi everybody.
Oh, it says more greetings. Okay.
I'm like a little mouse in this little conversation. Your man cave.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. You're present, right?
Yeah. Can't really answer for you because it's different for women.
It's different for women. It is. Yeah. You would say that it's different.
I think our symptoms are different. Yeah.
The symptoms are different.
Yeah.
Oh wow. I never really considered that. I guess we need to do a topic on this, right? Sure. For the women. Sure. Definitely.
It's because we don't have the same drive as you initially.
Right.
Yeah. But it changes us.
Right. So guys in the chat, what is porn addiction and what are some of its symptoms in men? What is it? What is it? Okay. All right. Did you come back with an answer?
This guy.
Every time listen, every time his hand goes towards the camera, something extraordinary happens.
Porn addiction.
Yeah. Yeah. What is it and what are some of its symptoms?
Okay. An addiction essentially is something that we yield to that brings us comfort in some kind of way in our own perspective. And so for different people, it will look different. And I'm saying an addiction. So now porn addiction would be pictures, videos, and sound that bring comfort to men, I'll say specifically, or women that bring comfort to some degree. That's what I would say what porn addiction is. And its symptoms are, one of them would be over-sexualization. Another symptom of pornographic addiction would be a desire to be entertained by things that are debased.
Wow. Okay. All right. Good. Well said. Well said.
Yeah, that is interesting because it does get to that.
Yeah.
Unnatural desires after that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, think about it. Like, it's debased no matter really how you look at it, because you're finding comfort in some way, right? Or pleasure in watching someone else do something that you are not doing, right? And you can say, well, I do it, or I do certain things while I'm watching it or listening to it. But the distinctive difference is, if sex in and of itself was designed for marriage, then the confines of your desires should be contained within your marriage. And then I'll go a step further. Polygyny is when a polygynous man is monogamously married to more than one woman. In essence, that woman is monogamous to that man, but that man is polygynous in that he may have more than one monogamous relationship. Does that make sense? It's like, I look at like a hand, right? You have different fingers, but they're all attached to the same hand.
That's a good one.
And so, you know, whether we are watching someone else do something, that if the marriage bed is undefiled, that's designed to be undefiled for them and them alone. So now when you record or go live or whatever with this thing, and it's now broadcast to the world, and now other people are participating, and it fuels lust, in that you potentially are desiring or participating in some capacity to bring pleasure to yourself, while your senses are yielding to someone else. And my senses should be focused on what belongs to me, not what belongs to someone else, even if she belonged to the streets.
And
even if she belongs
and she putting it out there.
Yeah, like that's still not designed for public consumption. And we see pornography in the scriptures.
Right.
I can bring up a clear example of pornography in the script.
Where's
and
that?
I'm not talking about Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay, that's a great question. I'm glad you asked.
That's a great question.
I'm curious,
So,
really, yeah.
There was a time when Melech Dawid, King David, took a woman named Bathsheba who belonged to another man. And when he took her and lay with her, he tried to cover up his sin. And how did he try to cover up his sin? Well, first he tried to cover it up by bringing her husband back home, and then her husband having relations with her. And then if anything results of that, he can use like, well, he was home. This is the situation that happened while he was home, and cover his sin. But when Uriah came home, and he had this, he operated in a greater sense of wisdom, in that he was like, yo, my mans, they out at war right now. They can't be with their wives. I'm not going to come home and be with mine. I'm one man. I'm one mind with them. And so what winds up happening is Dawid uses war to kill Uriah. He sends a message to Joab, his general, to say, yo, when Uriah comes back, what I want you to do is put Uriah in the heat of battle and then pull back. Now, remember, Uriah, this Hittite, is amongst the men of Israel, and they're known as the mighty men, the Gibborim, the mighty men of valor. And so when they go out to war, like, they're looking for like 0 casualties, because the Ruach of the Most High, Yasavaot, is going before them, fighting, using them or before them, causing them to win battles. And so although Uriah is a Hittite, because he's among the Israelites, he's covered and protected in the same way. But in this moment, when Joab pulls back, Uriah's essentially on his own and he gets killed, right? He's not able to pull a Samson move, a Shimshon move. So the Most High says, in consequence to David's actions, that the war would never depart from your house, right? Because of what you did. And he tells him about what his son Absalom was going to do. What Absalom wound up doing was he tried to declare himself king, all kind of stuff. And David goes, he leaves. And what his son does, his flesh and blood, his sperma, his bane, his his yalad, you know what I'm saying? His yachid. Like this son spreads out a tent on the top of the house, and he sleeps. He has sexual relations with these women that belong to David in the sight of Israel.
Yeah. In public, yeah.
That's pornography. He took
Yeah.
something that would have been private, should have been private, and made it
Public. For public consumption.
So now men are able to look at these women and be like, man, if I could get my hands on you, you know what I mean? Now men are able to do that because now they've witnessed, they've seen something, heard something they should not have witnessed, seen, or heard. This was a blasphemous thing to do. But pornography in the script.
Wow.
Right. Right. And so I guess when he was looking at Bathsheba on her roof, that would be considered soft porn.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Right? Soft porn, right? She was in the nude. Right? She was in the nude. Right.
Right.
Wow, good point. Okay. So we have do we have any more Sister D comments?
Yes, brother. There's
that
two
question. Yeah, it was two of them.
Brother
It was two of them. Yeah. I can sort of know what porn is as opposed to mild pics, but not sure what addiction is or where that line might be. Okay, well, we'll address addiction.
That's definitely respected. I can respect that.
Yeah. Where's the next one? All right. If a man has 2 to 4 wives of each nationality who matches his personal romantic preferences, when it comes to meeting all the qualities he loves, it can reduce dependency on porn. Okay. I mean, I don't know what the nationalities have to do with it, but I can see that it can definitely, having 2 to 4 wives can definitely reduce his dependency on porn. I can see that. I can see it in the equation, right? Not that having 2 to 4 wives will eliminate it, but we'll see. We're gonna get there. We'll get there. Yep. Let's give it a chance.
And I was trying to make sure that I didn't like move ahead of or speak before some of the points that you were making. So that's why I just told the story and then shut up.
Let's just answer the question at hand. Right. Okay. All right. So here's my answer. Porn addiction is a compulsive dependence. It's habitual, right? It's based on emotional. You get an emotional feeling, get emotional urge, emotional drive, right? It's a emotional driving dependence on pornography. All right. It means that you're depending on it, right? It for you to know that it's over here and you're over here and you not grab it, right? It kind of urges something inside you. It screams something inside you. It's kind of hard to resist, right? There's an interdependency upon it, right? It often shows up as loss of self-control, right? So that's what we're talking about. A person that can't control. I don't have to turn the porn on. You know, I could just sit here and read a book, right? It's escalating content use. So in other words, a person goes from watching maybe soft porn to hardcore porn, like soft porn, Bathsheba, hardcore porn, Absalom and Dawid's wives, right? So he goes from soft to hard, right? So there's an escalation of content use, as well as not just the level of what's being used or the degree of what's being watched, right? But there's an escalation in terms of how much a person consumes. Like back in the videotapes, there were literally men who would have VCR tapes stacked up inside their closets, stacked up from the floor on up to the ceiling. That's how addicted they were, right? That's how the addiction manifests itself. Reduce sexual desire for real women. It reduces a sexual desire. That's one of the symptoms of it. Another symptoms is ED, and we're not talking about Ed. ED, right? It is what? Erectile dysfunction. In other words, Woody just cannot stand up. You know, the branch goes limb, right? So it's erectile dysfunction. Then there's brain fog. The ability to focus is lost, right? The ability to have clarity is distorted. And it's irritability. So a person, just about like in any addiction, they get irritable, especially when they're jonesing, especially when they need another hit, right? They get irritable, right? So they shut up. You know, at least the little thing gets on their nerves. They become argumentative, right? So these are some of the symptoms and the signs of porn addiction. Anybody, Sister D, you want to say anything? Add anything to that?
Yeah. Plain nudity by itself isn't porn. Sexual penetration is porn. This is what
I wouldn't say that. You have porn has degrees, right? And so porn just has to deal with seeing nude bodies, right? Seeing things about a person that you're not supposed to see, right? Which would be their bodies. Their bodies are supposed to be covered up. And so it's derived from the Greek word porneia, right? Which is selling off, right? And so it's usually a selling off, right? In exchange for what? Pleasure or money, right? People pay for porn use, right? People get pleasure out of porn use. Well, so, right. But the word porn is derived from it. And so it has to deal with illicit sex. In this case, illicit voyeurism of sex, illicit watching of sex, right? Because it has to do with what you're watching, right? Voyeurism.
Yeah.
Right. And so, just seeing a woman in the nude, right, for self-gratification is porn, right? It's just a lower degree, right?
I mean, it reminds me of the bunnies. What was that magazine you guys that had in the 70s?
Playboy Bunny, Hugh Hefner's Playboy magazines, right? Yeah, Playboy magazines.
It started with that. Right?
They were considered softer porn because these were just pictures of women in the nude, right? Posing in different ways, right? Considered soft porn. So you have that level of porn to the level of, as the brother said, people literally having sex, or even worse, people doing violent things, disgusting things, right? Because porn can actually become very gross. People having sex with animals, right? In porn, right? You know, so it has levels and degrees to it, right? And that's the escalating effect of this type of content, right? Okay. Were you wanting to say something, add something to that, Sister D? Something came to mind?
No, I'm agreeing with that. But also that comment there reminds me that the big one, that's the one that's the biggest, even bigger than Pornhub, would be the OnlyFools, OnlyFans.
OnlyFools.
And a lot of these girls are, they're just by themselves, but they're selling their bodies for.
They're selling their body, right? They're selling their body. Yeah. Shalom, Sister Yabina. Blessings to you.
Hi, shalom, sister.
Yes, good. Yes. Okay, so now the next one is, how did Yah create sex to function? All right.
Well, it
Yeah.
definitely,
How did
brother
he create?
Yael did.
How did y'all create sex to function, brother Yahuel, who's here and ever present, a present help in a time of need?
Okay, so
He
it's
translated. Y'all seen it?
I like that. We call
Just like
him
Yeshua, right? He just came right through the wall. Look at him. Look at him. Look at him.
so that's a great question. The purpose, the first measure of purpose would be procreation.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also a measure of purpose and pleasure.
Pleasure.
Yes.
Right.
And this you've actually talked about this before, but I'm using the word pleasure, but I think the more appropriate word would probably be medicine.
Mm.
Yeah. Because
there's hormones released and excreted. Yeah.
Exactly. So you got me. So
right.
when we talk about there are people who take oxy ... medicine,
right?
Some type of oxy to release a chemical that produces a euphoria that an orgasm creates.
Mm-hmm.
And so some people establish an addiction to certain drugs because that addiction feeds or that drug feeds the desired effect. For some people, it isn't. It makes them feel warm and tingly, and they just have an affinity for this tingly feeling.
Right.
But the point that I'm making is there are chemicals released in your body during sexual exploitation with your spouse.
Yeah.
Whether it is your wife or concubine or your ish, your husband. And the intent is that he allows sex, the Most High Yah allows sex to be a mechanism of connection and healing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's pharmakia involved. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's pharmakia.
It's natural.
It's a natural pharmakia, right? Yeah, it's definitely a stress reliever, right?
Can be.
Right. And as we talked about on previous live streams, right? That a man needs it 21 times a day. I mean, a month. 21 times a month. I said a day, right?
Bro, I was about to say I got a deficiency because I don't need it 21 times a day.
Nothing wrong with me, right? No, 21 times a month to keep him at optimal health. Right? 21 times a month. So what is it? It was intended to be an ongoing medicinal exercise. Right. For the man's health. Right. So yeah, I can see that it's pharmakia involved, it's medicine involved, medicinal involved. Yeah, I can see that. What do you say, Sister D?
Yeah, and I have the image of intimacy compared to porn, where I don't think it was ever meant to be a spectacle.
Right. So how y'all created it to function, right? Clearly, it is the opposite of what David's son Absalom did to his concubines. Right?
Well, and that was a result of what his father did. And so the magnification.
Right. No. I was drawing opposite. Like what I was saying was that the intent that Yah had for sex was not that. It was not something that to be broadcast on the top of a roof, exposed to the world, right? Or to the whole nation, right? It was something to be sanctimonious, to be private, to be compartmentalized, to be covered, right? In fact, the term that we get in scripture is covering nakedness. Covering the nakedness. So Yah has this intent with sex to be a covering or to be covered, right? And not for it to be uncovered. Right?
It keeps us from don't uncover the nakedness of.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so much so that certain types of sexual acts, right, with close relatives, he deemed it in Leviticus 18 as being uncovering. Right. So there's a sacredness that sex in and of itself he intended it to be. right? There's a sanctification of it, or sanctimonious aspect of it that he intends for it to be. He intends for it to be um s- s- exclusive, right? Between the two that are engaged in it. He didn't intend for it to be inclusive for everybody to engage
Yeah.
or everybody to see,
Yeah.
right? Right.
I have a
Okay.
question for you, Brother Michael, before you go
Yes.
on. But when the
Yes.
Bible uses the terms like so and so knew their wife or went into their wife, um, how does
Mhm.
that relate to what we're
No.
talking
I think no is just basically the way in which they talk about, because that's the thing. It's like when you really think about it,
about?
um there's a level of knowledge that you gain when you experience something,
Mm,
right? So to eat of the tree of knowledge and good and evil, now humanity has tasted a knowledge that they did not have before.
mm,
And Yah says, let us go down and now we must go down and confound them, right? When they built the tower, right, they gained a knowledge that Yah didn't want them to attain to. And he
mm,
says, now let us go down and confound their language, right? When Adam first went into Eve, or he went into Eve, and the scripture says he knew her and they
he
gave birth to a
knew
son.
her. Yeah, he knew her. Yeah.
Right, right. So
Mhm,
there was a level of knowledge that's there now once you've experienced. So once a man knows a woman, right, you
mhm.
can't unknow what you know,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
That means that there's a conjoining that took place. And that's
Hmm,
the deep Hebraic use of the word, or the use of the term, that it really has to deal with a knowledge that you've now entered into that
mhm.
you can't undo. You've entered into, and
You
you
can't
can't be
unsee.
what you was before.
Mm,
So if
mhm,
and it's kind of like in a courtroom, right? Uh, you know, the witness says something that the judge doesn't want him to say, because what he says can prejudice the audience. I mean, the
the jury.
jury,
The
right? Audience.
mm,
It can
mhm,
prejudice the jury, right? So he
mhm.
says, "Oh, let the last statement from this witness be strike from the record." Right?
Yeah.
But the
Mm,
problem is that sometimes lawyers will strategically ask a question so those words can come out. Because the problem with the jury is that even though you may strike it from the record, you can't
mhm,
strike it from their minds.
mhm.
Right? It's already inside. They can't unknow what they've already heard.
So it kind of reminds me of those women who go into porn and then they want to clean up their record, but everybody's
Born
seen
again
enough,
virgins. Born again virgins. They want to become born again virgins,
and
right?
everybody's
So
known and seen the parts of
no.
them, you know.
Once
Yeah.
you once a woman knows the loss of her virginity, she can never gain it again.
Mhm, mhm, mhm,
There's no regaining once you know.
mhm. Yeah.
Right? So knowing is a deep level of intimacy that you translate into where you never was before.
Mm,
And it's a knowledge of, right? So now there's a deep intimate. So once a man and a woman knows each other, there's a deep level of knowledge that they have of each other. Just think about it. Like on the surface, they'll be so shamed or so uncomfortable seeing each other without clothes, right?
mhm.
Now, after knowing each other, they could be brushing their teeth, right? Eating their food, right? Just
Mhm,
easy, right? It's in
mhm,
in the bathroom, one on the toilet,
Sitting
right?
on the toilet.
In the toilet, exactly, right? There's a
mhm,
level of intimacy, there's a level of knowledge that is attained when you know someone, right?
mhm,
And
mhm,
that deals with the realm of sex. Unlike what is often thought of it as just being something physical, just a physical act. Like people think that they can compartmentalize the spiritual aspect
mhm,
to sex from the physical act. You can't separate
mhm,
it. You can't.
mhm. Okay. Mhm.
And I know I took a long time with that simple question that you asked, right? But that's neither here nor there. All right. So, what
Mhm.
is biblical polygamy, brother Yahoo Hell, who is ever present with us?
Well, I explained it.
What is biblical
Bi-
polygamy? Yeah.
But
Mhm.
biblical polygamy
You don't
is
know what
when
biblical polygamy is. You don't even have a clue. Yeah, go
right is when women are monogamously married or covered by one man. I say married and I say covered by
Right.
because married from the perspective of who?
Mm.
The two people that determine this status is her father and this man, whether it's the man she's marrying or his father or familial representative,
Right.
meaning like he has an older brother or uncle, somebody who represents their family. And so, you know, when a woman is unable to be categorically spoken for, meaning she's a daughter that belongs to this house and and I can speak, I can vouch for her. You know, there are other levels or other statuses that she could categorically fit in, like a concubine. But the word marriage is relating to a covenant agreement. And so if a woman enters into a covenant agreement with a man, whether she is a handmaid, whether she is a concubine, or whether she would be classified as what we know today as a wife, regardless, she is monogamously in a relationship with that man who esteems the position of husband, or what we would say in today's vernacular as her man.
Her man.
She doesn't get the exclusive right to now tell another woman that he can't be her man. But what she can do is, when asked, or the desire to proclaim, she can identify that she belongs to this man. So where women are monogamously belonging to a man who is polygynous, meaning he has more than one woman, whether it is a wife and a concubine, or you know, whatever his dynamic is, two wives. He has attained two concubines. He has attained more than one woman that belongs to himself.
Belongs to himself. Right. Beautiful. Thank you. And that's the biblical construct, right? Because there's a difference between the biblical polygamy from unbiblical polygamy, right? So biblical polygamy could be a woman having multiple husbands, right? Right? Right.
Unbiblical polygamy, you mean? Unbiblical.
Yeah, non-biblical.
Yeah.
Non-biblical. Let me say non-biblical. Non-biblical.
Bro, you was about to get it.
Yeah, I know.
Sister Deborah was like, man with the pearly whites and the long hair. We do not agree with you. She was about to hit you with the Brother Mike, if you'd be so kind, can you show me that scripture in the word while we're digging in the word?
Non-biblical, meaning that it's not biblical. You can't find it in the Bible. It's not a biblical construct. I did use the word construct.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
You know what I mean. You know what I mean.
Yes, he does. He does.
Mr. Man speaking from the invisible realm. All right. Next question.
Sorry, can you have comments there? Sorry, Brother Michael. Can you read this here?
God doesn't allow polyamory. It's one man with multiple wives, not one man with four men. Right. You're right. And actually, polyamory is not polygamy. Amory technically in the word construct is two words enjoined, polyamory. That means multiple or many loves or lovers. That's what that is in description. Polygamy is many or multiple, gamy, which is marriage, many marriages. So polyamory is not polygamy. They're two different things.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So what group would you say is or is among the highest among those that watches porn the most? What group would you say, come on, yo, you in the chat room, you guys in the chat room, please, I want to get an answer from you. Just what group can you think of is the highest or is among the highest that watches porn? Lonely men, married men. That's a good answer. It's a good answer. Good answer, Alex. Anyone else? What group would you say is the highest?
Women. Married women.
Married women.
Married women.
Married women. Well, okay. All right. And don't Google from the top of your dome, from the top of the cranium, right? What group is the highest group that watches pornography the most? Rainbow crowd. They do have a high volume of consumption. They do have a kind of high disabled people as well. Disabled people as well. Okay. Who
Brother,
all right,
Mike, I'll be right back. Okay, one second.
Sure. Anyone else? Any other group that you guys can think of? Okay. So, all right. So here's my answer. Pornography is used among Christians has now surpassed the national average for Americans, and this rise is going unchecked. Say that again. Pornography use among Christians has now surpassed the national average for Americans. That's everybody in America. It's surpassed the average. And this rise is going unchecked. Not saying that Christianity is the largest group, but it is amongst the highest, right? Because they've passed the average, right?
Can I read it for you, Brother Michael?
Sure,
this
please.
is really,
Let me pull this out. Can you enlarge your text?
Enlarge it. I'm not quite sure how to do that.
The 3 dots. You have 3 dots up on the top or anything like that of your screen?
Forgive me, I'm not that savvy in technology.
Yes, upper right. There should be a
yeah.
Yeah, because we cannot see it.
You can't.
I know if I can. I know people that are on phones are more than likely not going to be able to see it.
But anyway, let me just quickly read it. Can I just do that a little bit?
Sure.
Okay. So according to recent studies here, 2024, pornography use among Christians, including pastors, has now surpassed the national average of Americans.
Wow. Not just Christians, but pastors.
Yeah.
Okay.
and this rise is doing so largely going unchecked. New data suggests a majority of Christian men and a rising percentage of Christian women view pornography occasionally, while a majority of pastors have struggled with porn use at some point in their lives. According to recent published research from the Barna Group and Pure Desire Ministries, 75% of Christian men and 40% of Christian women view pornography on some level. That is 11-point rise for the men and 25-point rise for the women over the last 8 years. Wow. For comparison, it's really going up.
Yeah, that's staggering.
But we are higher than the world, because it says from comparison, the Barna notes that 61% of the adults in the general public use porn, and a 6-point increase in 8 years, while the national average is about 64% for men and 44% for women. But the point is making that the Christians and the pastors, we have a higher percentage of porn use than the general public.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah. Did you scroll it down? Could you go back to it?
You want me to go back?
Yeah, there was something down that I saw down that says 82%. I wonder what that was.
Okay, let me just add it back again.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. Right. So you scroll on down, please. right
80%.
here, and this right
Yeah,
down.
that bottom there. Yeah, right there. Okay.
All right. Who is helping you with your struggle with pornography? 80% of them said no one. Oh, it's 82% of them. So
So when
amongst
did
these
this study?
people, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Amongst these people, 82% of them says no one is helping them with their problem. The
Yeah.
people that are in the church, right? Which is
Mm-hmm.
75% of them are men, 40% of them are women. 82% of those people said that no one is helping them with their problem.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, it's being not talked about, and we are the ones. It's interesting. Why are the believing people the ones struggling with the most?
Yeah, the people that say that they believe in the book.
Why is that?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Um, uh, Alex, you this last comment. I want to pull that one up about autistic.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point. Autistic people, men and women alike, are likely to watch porn due to romance being inaccessible and nobody gives them a chance. Well, I mean, as a parent of a child with special needs, it's not just autistic, it's children that fall on different spectrums of disability. Have why? Because the thing with people with disabilities is that they have an impairment of their emotional intelligence,
Mm-hmm.
right? They have the inability, some of them, like autism, they have the inability to feel, right? Connect, right? Others may have intellectual disabilities, right? But in these different what do you call it? Spectrums of disability, uh, they tend to have issues with their emotionals, intelligence, their ability to regulate themselves emotionally. And
Mm-hmm.
so they usually will have a higher tendency towards sexual attraction, stimulation, desire, right? And so yeah, a large amount of them do engage in porn. Right, for sure. These are facts.
Mm-hmm.
These are facts for sure.
Torah
Yes.
facts.
It's over facts. All right, cool. All right. There has to be some nuances in autistic people. Usually don't watch porn out of malice, but out of curiosity and the drive, and then they gain a codependence, right? They become interdependent upon it. After watching it a certain amount of time, then they have an addiction, right? So yeah, it may, just like with a lot of people, it may start off, oh, what's this here? You know, you scrolling along and oh, what's this here that popped up? And that's innocent, right? You just something that just came across the feed. And now next thing you know, you know you're addicted, right? Yeah, you're not paying the rent no more. Nah, just kidding. But you on the streets now.
You dropping
you,
$500,000
you
and
lost
you
your
know you
job.
investing
OnlyFans.
$500,000 into a screen.
OnlyFans.
And
Yeah.
so, you know, what I want to do is I want you to consider for a second, right? The idea of OnlyFans.
Mm-hmm.
If OnlyFans had came out like way before, like I will say in the 80s or
Mm-hmm.
90s or early 2000s, it wouldn't have been a thing.
Mm.
Because in the 80s and 90s in church, there was still like a separation. You know, in society, there was still a separate. I remember a day that women did not go out the house in leggings without
Mm.
something covering them.
Mm-hmm.
If you did wear leggings out, like that, you fit the description. Like when a police pull up and be like, "Yo, you fit the description of this criminal." Like you would fit the description of a lady of the
A lady
night.
of the night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone who doesn't mind providing company. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That
Mm-hmm.
midnight tipper. You know what I'm saying? For the
And
Big Dipper.
it is for sale. And it is for sale.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
now, if you try to tell someone, you know, like, hey, you know, listen, you may not know this, but the leggings you're wearing leaves nothing to the imagination when you bend over. Now they're offended. It's like, what are you doing looking? Like, you walked out the house, you know, looking like leftovers in saran wrap. What do you mean? What am I doing looking? Like, you're on full display.
Yeah.
But my point is dealing with OnlyFans. Back then, even there was a standard of delineation. Like there was, you know, if you dressed and looked this way, you fit this description, and if you dressed and looked this way, you fit something else.
Yeah.
Now the lines have been blurred, and I think it started with the embracing, you know, excuse my language, but with the term bitch as a term of endearment. And remember, we talked before about how words have power, right? And men, when we look at like chapters like Numbers or Bamidbar 30, where a man, a father, not a man, but a father or a husband has the exclusive right and ability to overturn a vow that was made with his words.
Right.
Okay. So now when a woman goes out and she's seeing it on television, and now all of a sudden, you know, me and my bitches and all that, they bring that home, their husband hears it, doesn't overturn it, and it literally flooded in this idea of feminism in homes where it may not have been accepted or embraced. But I think it had a lot to do with how we started to associate women, and women associate to each other as a term of endearment in this term, right?
Right.
So with the strategic manipulation, music videos, terminology, political perspective, OnlyFans. It's been a stair step of this is how we got here. And now women can have an OnlyFans account, or, you know, men or whatever, and it's like an acceptable form of income.
Right.
Yeah.
How did we get here?
Right, so legitimate form of income. Right.
No.
Yeah, it's a moral decay. I mean, at the end of the day, the moral fabric of the society has declined. And it's a sad reality. Also, the accessibility to what you said earlier. You know, OnlyFans wouldn't have been accessible in the 80s, right? Because people didn't have cell phones, right? People didn't have computers like that. Like the average person didn't have computers in the 80s. In their home, they didn't have PCs. Right,
but we can go to the 99 2000. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It was music videos. Like, look at how the bass, you know, and how they're dressed. And this girl is, although she's dressed in a way my mama would not have allowed us to be dressed, or women to be dressed, she's the it girl in the video.
Right.
All the girls want to be like her. So now, because it's her milkshake that brings all the boys to the yard.
No, you're right. That's what the song says, right?
Yeah, man. Did you have some coffee, man? Did you have some coffee, man, before you came on the set? Yo, shalom, brother Jeremy.
Shalom, everybody. How's it going?
But you see my point.
Yeah, for sure.
And so it's been a stair step, you know, like the music videos,
a downward,
the language, attire, appropriate attire, you know, and then, you know, now we got OnlyFans, and it's acceptable, it's respectable.
Yes.
To some degree.
Yeah, to some degree. They can pay your taxes on it. All right. So you can pay taxes on it for sure. All right. So we got an article to read here. Did we? That was the article, right, Sister D? About
that was the article. Yeah, we read it.
Okay, good. Okay. So in what ways does society shame surrounding male sexuality fuel porn addiction? In what ways, y'all got to listen to the question. In what ways does society's shame surrounding male sexuality fuel porn? So the fact that the man wants it, the fact that the man thinks about it a lot. Like we used to say when we were kids, Adidas, right? You know, the sneaker Adidas. We used to say
All
Adidas stands
day.
for all day I dream
All day
about
I
sex.
think about.
That's what guys used to say. We used to say all day I dream about sex, right? That's what Adidas
Killer Mike.
stands for, right? Right. Shalom, brother Jeremy. Yeah, so the sexuality of men is demonized, right? In our society. The
But
question
it's not
is,
true.
does that fuel porn addiction?
Absolutely. I mean,
The fact that the man says that he wants it, the fact that the man says that he, like people will look at that as, okay, that's a negative thing. Oh, he's just over sexual. Oh, you just want sex so much. Oh, he say he's a dog, right? He's want more than one woman. He's a dog, right? So to a certain degree, the male sexuality, which does include variety and novelty, is demonized by the society. Question is, does that fuel porn addiction?
yes, it does.
It does. All right.
It can.
It can.
Doesn't
Okay.
mean
So
it does, but it can.
Brother Jeremy, why do you say it does?
Well, because the younger men coming up are being demonized because they have these wants and these feelings. So much so to the point. So much so to the point that it's really the refrigerator protecting the snacks that's leading them to.
Say that again. I like that one.
It's the refrigerator protecting the snacks.
Huh.
That's leading to this.
Wow.
Because
Unpack that. Yeah.
even when you look at the people on the news, like talking about health, these people aren't healthy, but they get to make decisions for the whole country.
Right.
So the same thing with this. Like what young men are seeing constantly online is that you're wrong for being attracted to A, B, C, D, E. And because of that, you might grape somebody. So what's left for that man to get that urge out? Because we all got it.
Right.
God made us that way.
Right. Okay. So we got an itch. So men have an itch that the society doesn't want them to scratch.
Yeah.
And the fact that he has an itch, he's told that there's something wrong with him.
Oh right. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I can see that.
That's why they keep trying to push the rainbow in your face.
Rainbow in your face.
This urge, you can just do this. That's
okay.
For men, that's only 3% of the population. That ain't enough to go around anyway, even if that was righteous, but it's not.
Right. And you say it fuels porn addiction.
Yeah, it does.
Okay. All right. What do you say? I get it. Everybody has one. But what no, we're not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say that on TV. All right, brother Yahweh, what was you gonna say?
I think the shame is not necessarily towards sexuality, but just masculinity. Like a man could be chivalrous, and tell a woman, hey, you look nice. Or she could be in the gym and he's like, hey, what you're doing is working. And he not be sexually attracted to her funky behind, because she's in the gym working out.
Right.
Not just taking pictures. So she would be funky by nature of the fact she's working out. Anyway, just that compliment, right? It's like I got a man, or I'm not interested. Why is it that every time I come around, like you men are dogs? You just, all you think, and you're like, I don't even like your kind. I'm not attracted to it. I'm just giving you a compliment. I'm trying to boost your confidence. You know what I'm saying? Because you're taking 1,000 pictures. You might be insecure. Maybe. You might be trying to get attention you don't
Maybe.
have.
Right.
Maybe. So let
Maybe.
me let me boost you a little bit. Let me extol you. Using that King James language. Let me extol you. Edify you, and let you know, hey, what you're doing in the gym is working.
Yeah.
No, so
Yeah.
chivalry or masculinity in and of itself. You open the door, and there are some women that are like, I can get my own door. Like, you know what? You sure can. You can change your tire. You could change your oil. You could build your house. You could do it all. You can dig yourself out the snow too. And so
Hey, watch that. Yeah.
and so and so a man. What I'm getting at is, thus a man would be like, yo, the way of women today. I put myself and everything that I am building at risk. It would be better for me to just pleasure myself via porn addiction than it would be to risk a woman taking everything I have.
Mm. So in a sense,
that's a way society shames. Go ahead.
So you're saying it does fuel it. It does fuel, right? The drive, or at least the idea. You know what? The
It
alternative
can.
idea, right? It can, right? All right, but now, what is sexuality? What is sexuality in a man? What is male sexuality?
Yeah, Jeremy, what's that?
What is male sexuality? And when I say male sexuality, we are obviously talking about his created male sexuality. What is created male sexuality by God? Is he there? I don't know if he probably stepped away. What is male sexuality?
All right, so I would venture to say that male sexuality is the innate nature of a man to and for lack of a better word, to conquer and expand.
To conquer and expand. Brother Gray Beard says that it is, I want to pull that up. It is the drive to enjoy a woman and reproduce, or the drive to enjoy multiple women and reproduce. So is that an innate Yah given desire? And is not that desire or that sexuality of a male, is that not shunned or shamed in our culture? The fact that a
Well,
man wants more than
yes,
one woman, right? Is that not demonized?
it is,
Right.
and it is shamed, and it's shamed down to the level of, well, the Bible doesn't support the idea, and let me zone in on every negative person that could have introduced this theory or this perspective, and let me highlight that as a means of reducing the idea that the Most High would be involved in it at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
like
So you're saying
saying,
that,
well,
in other words,
Lamech,
embrace the
Lamech,
no, hold on, I was just want to make sure I'm following. Are you saying, so at a certain point you could see a man just embracing the echo of this idea that his sexuality is wrong somehow? He embraced the opinions that his sexuality is wrong. He embraces the ideas, the sentiments that his sexuality is wrong, right? Okay.
yes, or and to the point of saying that it's not biblical.
Right.
So the idea is like, they'll look in the script and they'll be like, okay, Lamech was the first person identified in script as having two wives. Thus, this was evil. This was like he was being greedy because he's a descendant of Cain. When
Right.
it could have been possible, it's possible that someone else had two wives, and it's just
Exactly.
not recorded.
You just record, right, because there were other people that were in
Right.
other lineages, right, that
Well,
existed.
what
family lives.
What benefit is it to say Seth had 2 wives?
Right.
It doesn't. It's irrelevant to the point of his lineage and growth. What's important
Right.
is identifying this line going from Adam to Noach, from
Right.
Noach to Shem, from Shem to Abraham, from Abraham to Yisrael and Yehuda and Mashiach, etc.
Right. Right. Okay. All right. Cool. All right. So there is a fueling effect. Okay. There. So let's go to this next question. It is society shames. No, my answer. Society shames male sexuality into the box of prescriptive monogamy. So in other words, the shaming steers men into the prescriptive monogamy or as the only alternative, right? Or the alternative that is safe, right? Matter of fact, prescriptive monogamy is promoted while polygamy or polygyny is demonized, right? Driving men to secrecy and isolation, because the fact of the matter is, if this sexuality comes from Yah, just because they deny it because the masses or the society is demonizing it, it doesn't mean that this drive that Yah created him is going to necessarily disappear. So just because I believe the lie that everyone is telling me about myself, it still does not mean that I don't really know who I am. Even though I might embrace it, or it doesn't mean that I'm no longer me, right? Let's just say people just say, Mike, you're a Martian. Mike, you're a Martian. Everyone is calling Mike a Martian, right? And then one day out of pressure, I just accept what everyone say. Yeah, I guess I am a Martian. But because I embrace that, does that necessarily make me a Martian? Right? And so
if you are indeed a Martian, yes. But if not,
but I'm not a Martian.
Nee. Right.
Deborah, I'm not a Martian.
No, you're good. You're good.
But it's the same thing with the sexuality issue, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's that men are being inundated by the society. Men are being constantly demonized and being told that their natural proclivity to multiple women, a variety of women, right? The newness of women is wrong. It's not biblical, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so they're being told this over and over and over again to the point that they're trying to live it out. It's like the person who has gay attractions but try to get married heterosexually, right? Just because they got married heterosexually does not take away the fact that they have gay attractions.
Don't be telling Donnie McClurkin's story.
DD Jakes, man. But it does not mean that it disappears because you embraced the popular narrative. It's the point that I'm making. It doesn't disappear, right? So
apologies, guys.
No problem. It's okay. Society shames male sexuality into the box of prescriptive monogamy, driving men to secrecy and isolation where unmet desire leads to compulsive sin and hidden consumption. It is so true. When a person is driven beyond what they really are, just think about it. A father tells his son that he's not shit, that he will never be shit, because I'm not shit. And all you're going to amount to be is nothing but shit, right? What happens to that son? More than likely, he's going to believe that he's not shit. How well do you think he's going to succeed in life? How well do you think how much confidence do you think that he's going to have in life? Right? So we can believe a lie, but it does not mean because we believe or we embrace the lie that makes the lie true. That's the point. That's the point. Doesn't make it true just because you embraced it, right? What do you say, Brother Jeremy?
I agree. It does not make it true.
Right, does not make it true. Exactly. All right. So let's look at some supporting scriptures here, right? We're pulling up our scriptures here. So the supporting scriptures would be Genesis 25. is the first one that pulls up on the screen in this banner, and it says, "And they were both naked, the man and his wife, and were not ashamed." That's the reality. The reality is that they were naked and they were not ashamed. The fact that, they were not ashamed, it says something about where their state of mind was at, right? In their nakedness at that point in time, right? They were not ashamed of it. It was there. It was a reality. They didn't deny it. They didn't deny it until when? When did they deny their nakedness? Or when did they have an issue with their nakedness? It was after they sinned, right? It was after they sinned. John 3:20 says, "For everyone that does evil hates the light, neither comes to the light." The thing about evil, the thing about sin is that it changes you. The thing about believing a lie, that it impacts you. It has an effect on you, right? It doesn't do away with the truth, but it does have an effect on you, right? All right.
You want to conceal it.
Yeah, it makes you want to conceal it, makes you want to hide it, right? Makes you want not. It's like, remember the effect that I always use. It's like the roaches in the kitchen in the middle of the night when you turn the lights on, right? What happens? They run for cover, or a street that's filled with mice and rats. Like you walk past the garbage and there's a whole bunch of rats would just run away from the garbage, right? Right. So it's the same thing. It's the same thing, same effect. All right. So
I have a comment though about
Sure.
society, in the sense that when we believe in prescriptive monogamy society, we expect you men who have wives, if you have one wife, automatically we think that your sex drive should stop, and or your focus should only be for one woman. So
Right.
we shame you even in your expression of any sexual desire outside of that woman over there.
outside of what the woman's think it should, what she
Yeah.
thinks it should be, right? If she thinks it.
Yeah.
I
But
mean,
you don't.
again, that's what you're gonna say.
Well, any kind of vocalization, expression, even looking, that's, I think, some of the men go to porn because society tells you if you're married, you can only look at your wife.
You can only look at your wife. Right.
Like
My wife is the only beautiful woman in the world. There is no other such thing as another beautiful woman in the world. Only my wife is a beautiful woman. And she's the only one that I see. My eyes can only see my wife. Right?
Yeah.
That's what they want to hear. That's what they want to hear, right?
That's not true. That's not true for you?
I thought I was the only one.
Speak for yourself, brother.
I thought I was the only one.
No. So in all respect, right? I think men and women are beautiful creations of the Most High, and I can't expect a man to not look at a woman and desire her. I can't expect a woman to not look at a man and desire him.
Right.
And so this kind of neutralizes the reality that both men and women, to some degree, come into this struggle.
Right.
Right.
Right. This is true, and what you're talking is facts. But here's the question: even though women come into this struggle of seeing what they desire more than a man, is it more natural for a man to have more than one woman than it is for a woman to have more than one man?
Is it more natural,
or is it as natural? Is it as natural for a woman to be with more than one man as it is natural for a man to be with more than one woman? Is the nature the same?
No, I think women who have this nature are patterning themselves after a man.
Aha. The questions hooked it in, young Jedi. Yes, that's exactly what it is. It's the fact of the matter is that when women desire multiple men, it's an unnatural desire. The fact that it's there doesn't need, and that's just making the point of what we were making earlier. just because I act like, you know, I don't want or I don't have a desire or attraction for women other than my wife doesn't make it true. You get what I'm saying? Just because a woman desires more than one man, it doesn't mean that it's natural for her. You get what I'm saying? What is sin? Sin is the desire for things that are unnatural or things that are desired in their unnatural sense. In other words, it's not a sin for me to desire food, but it is unnatural for me to desire eating food all the time.
It's sin for me to desire your food. How about that?
How about that?
Yeah.
How about
No,
this
that's
is
true.
true?
That's
Which is
coveting.
true. Covetousness. Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. So anything that's sinful is unnatural. It's not what Yah intended. It's not what he created, because everything that he commands, right, is how it's supposed to be. It's how it's supposed to be. And that's important. So just because a woman may be physically attracted to multiple men, right? And granted, she can still be physically attracted to multiple men, but you can be attracted to something, but not necessarily to the point where you want it for yourself. Not
Or
to
you're
the point
willing
you
to do something about it.
to do something. Exactly. Because Yah made everything beautiful, right?
Right.
In terms of his creation, right? And it was this. Think about the flowers. The flowers are designed to be admired. No different than the shape of a woman's body, right? No different from a home cooked meal, right? On a plate. It is designed to be desired, right? But desiring it alone is not necessarily sin. It's when to the point where you are desiring it to the point, or coveting it or lusting after it to the point where you want it inappropriately, right? Or you desire it for yourself inappropriately.
Right. There's no sin in desiring the attention of a man. The
Right.
sin comes in when you desire the attention of men.
Right. Or let's just say it's just one man, but that man is not your husband, right? As a woman's husband, and you want his attention so much, right, that you dress revealing.
Okay, there you go. So you're willing to violate
yourself.
So I can't. Initially, I was like, I can't rock with because then what is polygyny? Like polygyny is what? Go ahead.
No. Now what I'm saying is, again, going back to the qualification for what makes it sin is that it is unnatural. So in other words, she may want the attention of the man, but once she steps outside of that which is natural, then it's sin.
Okay.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So it's natural for a woman to see, like Rachel likely desired Jacob just as much as Jacob desired her. But if Rachel would have led Jacob behind the old oak tree and gave
the bushes,
him right, the bushes, and gave him some nah, right, without her father knowing, then that would have been unnatural. You get what I'm saying?
Because it would have violated the order.
It would have violated the order of what Yah created. Right. That's all I'm just trying to say. So I'm trying to, in so many ways. But you're making me work tonight. That's what you're doing.
Hey, listen.
That's all, because you care about me. I can tell.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
Here's the next question. In what ways has prescriptive monogamy contributed to the rise of pornography in the West? So we already dealt with people shaming in a monogamous society, but in what ways has prescriptive monogamy in and of itself contributed to the rise of pornography in the West? What do you guys say in the chat room? Right, Brother Jay, what do you say? You got a take on, an opinion on this one? In what ways has prescriptive monogamy contributed to the rise of pornography in the West?
For some men, it's destroyed their want to multiply, and in a lot of other ways, it's handicapped other men that want to procreate. So it's either killed the sex drive or the want to do it, or it's caused men to deceitfully fulfill that lust elsewhere, just by
Other outlet,
watching.
porn. Yeah, porn. Right. Mm-hmm. 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 Okay. Brother Gray Beard says, by pretending a man cannot obtain more. Right. Just the simple switch
The
inside the head.
gall.
I can't have more. I can't have, and I tell you, I see it all the time. I deal with men all the time, right? I have men that come inside the shop and they will talk about going to DR, and these are married men. They talk about going to DR, a woman to come in with her son, and they're like, "Yo, who's that?" Or a woman to walk past outside, like, "Oh wow, you see that?" Right? Or talking about some woman celebrity and talk about how good she look, what have you, right? Um, or talking about going on vacation to Brazil or what have you, right? These are the conversations that they will have. And they would talk about, oh, yo, did you see so and so today? Right? They're bringing up a woman in a conversation, right? These are married men. And I asked them the question, I'm like, yo, you ever thought about having another wife? Oh, no, 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 that's not for me. I'm a one woman man. I'm a one
Yeah.
woman man. You guys ever come across that?
Yep.
Men who will try to project themselves as one woman men, but subjectively they would talk about women and how they look and checking them out and gesturing and everything. You guys ever see that? Have you ever done that before?
I have a statistic for you. Do you know OnlyFans? It says here that 90% of the subscribers are married on OnlyFans.
I'm married.
90%.
Let that sink in, because we are in a prescriptive monogamous predominant society, right? So 90% of the marriages are clients of OnlyFans, of OF. Wow. That's staggering. What do you say, brother Yahweh? What do you say? That's staggering.
It doesn't surprise me.
Mm.
Back in the day, we would hear this phrase, wives would make this statement, and it would go something like this. If you want something that I'm not willing to provide, then you can go out and find it from somewhere. You can go out there and find it somewhere else in them streets.
Yeah.
Now the statement was made, but it wasn't meant.
Right, wasn't it? Right. There's a difference.
And so the idea that you can tempt somebody and then them not do it, and then you make them pay for the very thing that you told them to do, is crazy to me.
Right. Yeah. So prescriptive monogamy has certainly contributed to the rise of pornography, I would say, in the West. Definitely.
Sure.
Because it all has to do with this idea of suppression, right? It all has to do with this idea of believing a lie, accepting a lie. Just think about it. There's one thing to say that a cult leader came up with a lie and he led people to follow him in his false doctrine, his false teaching. And these people became devotees. I mean, they were committed, loyal to him, right? And they even went as far as to die for the cult leader. But the question is, when the cult leader is about to face the ultimate of persecutions, which means it will cost them their life, what do you think the cult leader would more than likely do?
Back down.
He would back down. Pushed him in front of him. Exactly. Why? Why would he do that?
It was the woman
Because
you gave.
So, why would he why would he back down? Why would he not be willing to take the bullet?
because he doesn't believe he doesn't.
He made
He's
up
not
the
being
lie.
truthful, and
He
exactly,
made
he's
up
not
the
being
lie.
truthful in what he said.
He made listen, when you conscientiously embrace a lie that you know is a lie, you're not gonna be willing to die for that. You're not going to be willing to sacrifice for that. So most men are not willing in a prescriptive monogamous society are willing to face the persecution. You know why? Because this is the very reason as to why it's the very reason as to why they embrace the polygyny. I mean the prescriptive monogamy, right? In the first place, right? They are afraid. They are afraid of the fire. They are afraid of the persecution. They're afraid of the heat. They're afraid of the furnace being turned up 7 times more. They're afraid of that. So
Through the fire.
they go along. It's the saying that they say they go along to get along.
Right.
Right. They go along to get along, right? Because they don't want no smoke. They don't want no smoke. Right. So prescriptive monogamy certainly contributes. What do you say, Sister D?
Well, yeah, for sure. The limitation is obviously because you're only allowed to have one, right? So it's obviously scarce. So if you're only allowed to have one, yet you have the biology from the Most High who made you to crave more.
Right.
And if, according to the Harvard study, men need 21 ejaculations per month, then
not a day, not a day, not a day, not
per
a
month for optimal health. Yeah, per month. Yeah, that.
Not an hour.
For optimal health.
For optimum health, right? That means that you're fighting against your biology, and therefore you need a release, which will always bring you to pornography outside of that,
or something else, right?
Or something else, or outside of that, right? Something immoral outside of that.
Something immoral outside of right. So when you know it's a lie, right, you're not gonna be willing to die for it. You're not. You're not. You're not gonna be willing to die for it. That's why men will go as resorting to cheating, right? Because they're not willing to die for it. They're not willing to die for it. Not on that hill, not on that mountain. They're not willing to die for that. Right. Answer. When lawful sexual outlets were restricted beyond scripture, desire did not disappear. It went underground into immorality, adultery, and prostitution. That's what happened culturally.
Yeah.
When lawful it happened in the bootleg with the bootleg industry, right? When liquor was outlawed here in the United States back in the 20s, the 30s, right? When it was outlawed,
like
what happened? A whole underground industry, was created. Right.
Flourished.
It flourished. Right. So you have so many rich, wealthy companies today exist, wealthy people that exist, families that exist today as a result of the bootleg industry. Right. As a result of that's the history of when things are pushed underground because they've been outlawed, right? They create a whole new industry. Right. Right. And people become wealthy off it. So let's Ecclesiastics. Let's pull up the text. Ecclesiastes 7:29. ECC 7:9. Brother Jeremy, could you read that?
Yep. Behold, I have found only this, that Yah made men upright, but they have sought out many devices.
So when a man is corrupted, they are going to seek out ways to do their sin. That's just the reality. Read this one, please, Brother Jay. We're gonna go from verse 1 to what's that? Verse 1 to 4. Okay.
Then Yeshua spoke to the crowds and to his disciples, saying, the scribes and the Pharisees have seated themselves in the chair of Moses. Therefore, all that they tell you, do and observe, but do not do according to their deeds. For they say things and do not do them. They
lie.
tie up heavy burdens and lay them on men's shoulders, but they themselves are unwilling to move them with so much as a finger.
Right. So in other words, they created these rules, they created these laws, right? And Yeshua says they created those laws, but do what they tell you to do, but don't do what they do.
Hmm.
Don't do what they do. But the laws, the traditions that they created were such heavy loads that it caused men to fall. It caused men to stumble, right? So much to the point that they weren't even willing to help these people out. It was their rules that made
Mm-hmm.
people stumble. It was their
Mm-hmm.
rules that made the people fall, but they were not willing to help the people out when they did fall.
And it did
Right?
fall. Yeah.
When they did fall is the point that Yeshua was making. And there's
Mm-hmm.
one more passage on here, and that's First Timothy 4. And we're gonna read verses 1 2 3. So now we're talking about these Pharisees, these religious leaders. They came up with these teachings, these traditions that became burdensome to the people, right? And this is one such right here. Okay, it happened 500 years ago. Go ahead, brother Jeremy, please.
Right? But the Spirit explicitly says that in the latter times, some will fall away from the faith, paying attention to deceitful spirits and doctrines of demons,
Mm-hmm.
by means of the hypocrisy of liars, seared in their own conscience, as with a branding iron.
Mm-hmm.
Men who forbid marriage and advocate abstaining from foods which Yah has created to be greatly shared in by those who believe and know the truth, who
Right.
believe and know the
So
truth.
so they abstain from things that Yah created.
Mm.
And one of
Yeah.
the things that Yah created is foods and marriages. But
Mm.
yet, these men who
Mm.
are influenced by demons began to teach doctrines that forbid marriage, right? And so we saw this 500 years ago with the Council of Trent, right? With the institution of marriage ceremonies and
Hmm.
restricting or prohibiting men from taking on multiple wives. And as a result of it, what did that cause over the past 500 years? It caused the degradation of the marriage rate. The marriage rate began to be waned against. The marriage rate began to become, how would you say, decreasing over time to what we see today, right? You see men, right, engaging in watching porn and they have a whole wife at home, a real woman as opposed to a virtual woman. A
Bruh,
real woman
it's not even at home. It's in the bed right next
is
to
in the
them.
bed at home, right next to them, and they're not even touching it. They're discouraged from touching it. Maybe it's sexless. The woman doesn't want to have sex, right?
Right.
That is going on in these prescriptive monogamous marriages, right? And so as a result of it, it is doing something to the men. It's doing something to the men.
Hmm.
Doing something to the men, right? Okay. So, what truths about masculinity does porn addiction both expose and suppress in men? What truths about masculinity does porn addiction both expose and suppress in men?
That one woman isn't enough. One woman may not be enough for his urges and needs, and it actually suppresses the urge to actually want to go out and get that woman, because it
Mm,
tricks the brain chemically with the endorphins and dopamine that a man would get by doing that.
mm,
That's why a lot of dudes say, I go rub one out and go to sleep. I
right,
wake up and go to work
right,
tomorrow.
right. Too much
Versus
of a
going
hassle.
out and
Yeah,
thank you,
yeah.
too much of a hassle. Versus going
Too much
out
of
and
a hassle.
actually building that
Right,
relationship actually and building a household. So that
right.
porn addiction takes away and suppresses his need to go do that.
Mm, mm. So what do you say that it say about masculinity? What does that have to say? Because notice the question is, what truths about masculinity does porn addiction expose and suppress in men?
Well, the truth about masculinity is that men have that option, we know, to go have more than one woman. And the pornography exposes that, the need, the urge to go and get that.
Gotcha.
So that's the truth of masculinity that it
That is
exposes.
the truth about masculine. Yeah, I got you. Good response. Good response. All right, brother Yawel, I saw your forehead pulsing. Go ahead, brother. What you got?
This guy. It exposes the reality that there may be something you as a man isn't doing at home that would produce you to be able to have relations with your wife to the extent that you would want to. Because if you have women who are willing to have sex at any hour of the day or night for a few dollars, then it's possible that your wife could, or women could, have the same desire toward you if the right chemistry is developed between the two of you that would produce that, rather than the idea of producing a headache or the idea of producing I'm not feeling well, or
I'm tired. Yeah,
I'm tired. Because the release of that oxytocin may remove that headache.
You remind me of something. Like, I grew up, we would go into like one of them Pentecostal, pour the oil, lay hands, heal if you get sick and all of that stuff and whatnot. That's the kind of church that I, charismatic type of church that I grew up, right?
Same.
And we used to have to go to church all the time. And I mean, like, sometimes it would be like every night of the week, we got to go to church. So my sister's like 6 years older than me. My sister Evie. So she said, Michael, won't you go in there and tell Ma that you don't want to go to church because you don't feel well? Just tell her that you sick. So we don't have to go to. I can stay home with you. That way I can stay home and take care of you, right? Just tell her that you don't feel well, so we can stay home. I said, Evie, that's not gonna work. She said, why? I said, because Mom gonna tell us we're gonna go to the church and they're gonna pour oil on us and gonna pray for us and I'm gonna be healed.
Yes,
Boom. Look, you're gonna be healed whether you like it or not.
Like it or not, you're gonna get that healing, boy. So you go to church. Yeah.
You're gonna get this blessing.
Yeah. So definitely, I think that's an obvious one. I think it shows that the masculinity is suppressed. It shows, like, the porn addiction shows that, okay, there's something about your masculinity that you're not tapping into if you're settling for this porn thing. There's something about your masculinity that you are compromising. If your woman is giving you a no, then there's something about your masculinity that's being compromised. I think that's what it exposes. It's being suppressed. You standing up, you being assertive is being now passive. It is also revealing that you're afraid. You're afraid to be masculine. With the real masculine, you stand up, that you're afraid because you're fearful of the consequences. And so the porn addiction is really revelatory of that, right? It reveals that that's really what your issue is. That you don't have your masculinity has no spine bone, no backbone, right? You're afraid. You're a punk, right? You're scared. Listen, you could be 6'4" and your woman could be 4'11" and you're afraid of her.
I don't think for all men it's fear of her. It's fear of the consequences that she can tap into. It's not her. It's everything that's designed to support her.
Well, that's the thing. These are powers. We talked about this the other time, These are powers that she can wield to manipulate you into submission, to deny your masculinity. Because that's what's going on there. She's wielding manipulation by the use of the courts, by the use of the popular opinion, by the use of her family, your family. She could turn all of these forces against you. You know, all she got to do is go cry out, and you're done. Right? So, because she's
Like
able
dinner.
to, yeah, like dinner, right? She's able. What do you say, Sister D?
I think that it's a sad thing because it's like humiliating, but I think it makes men spectators, like I say, instead of participators, right?
Right,
So
in their own house.
And so like it's like this: a child it's hungry, she wants ice cream, you know, and you put her in front of a TV and you let her watch other children eat ice cream all day long, right?
It's torture. It's torture. Yeah,
It's just not fair.
You know?
It's not.
You're such a mean mommy and daddy.
So we know that men have high sex drive and are visually stimulated more than women are actually.
That's why the wife dresses the way she dresses.
Yeah,
because
then
she
we
knows
put
she's
you,
stimulated. Right.
And then we put you in front of a TV instead of getting the real thing, and you become a spectator instead of participator in the act.
Right.
Yeah, but I'm gonna read some comments here. There, Brother Brett says egalitarianism and family courts are a major danger to men.
Yes, they are. And it deters men. I'm not saying that these fears are not legitimate, right? Because you can literally pay, and most men do pay a price who choose to stand up.
Yep, exactly. Because I doubt that porn makes a man want to divorce his wife. In most cases, it doesn't. Well, no, they're not.
Sex is natural and should be able to have sexual lawful satisfaction. Prostitutes were even legal in Israel.
Is that true?
I don't know about legal. In fact, the land was not to be polluted with prostitution, is what Torah says.
Yes, that's all the comments.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So here's what I say: porn addiction exposes a man's Yah-given sexual drive and desire for dominion. So that's the reason why he's going against his masculinity, because masculinity is the drive for dominion. Yah created you to have dominion. How can you have dominion when you're afraid to walk in it? Right? While suppressing true masculinity by redirecting his strength away from his discipline and biblical patriarchal leadership. That's what the porn addiction is doing. Right? It's chipping at his manhood. Okay. Scriptures to support on this. Let's go to the scriptures that support it. Proverbs 25:20 says, he that has no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls. All things are lawful. 1 Corinthians 6:12 says, all things are lawful, but are not necessarily beneficial, not necessarily expedient. All things are lawful, but not necessarily beneficial to me. What are you gonna say, Yahweh?
Nothing.
You're gonna say something? I think we're gonna say something. We're gonna say something.
Hold on
Okay, so
guys. I'm gonna have to go, guys.
Okay, all right, brother.
Shalom.
Thank you. All right, Sister D, can we pull up the stats?
Yes, we can. Or just before we do that, let's read this one, and I'm gonna pull up the stats right here.
This is an interesting point that he's making, but this sadly, this is actually true. Some wives would rather their husband look at porn than get another wife, which is crazy.
Isn't that sad? But it's so true. Yeah,
it's true. It's true. Yeah. All right. So we're gonna pull up some stats here. I think I gotta take out my There you go. So it's all free. The man cave is yours. Right. The man cave is yours.
Can you guys read it, or you want me to make this bigger too? Which
it says Man Cave Mondays on Digging in the Word.
Okay.
Right.
So prevalence of porn use among men.
It's not up. It's not up, sis.
Is it not?
I see it. I see it.
You can't see, Brother Michael?
I can't see it. There you go. It's there now.
You see it now? Okay.
Now I don't see it.
Now you don't see it
now? No.
All right.
Now I can see it.
Now you can see it?
Okay.
Hold on.
All right.
Yeah.
Let me go to YouTube and see what it's showing.
On the other side.
Yeah, on the other side.
Tell me if you can still see it or not.
No,
I can see it on my. I can see it. How about you guys in the chat? Can you guys see it in the chat for the one? Yeah.
Yeah. Can we see the article on the screen in the chat?
I can see it on my phone, so I think it's okay. I can see it on my phone. Brother, I'm just going to read a few stats though. Brother Yawel, can you see it?
Yep. Up to 70 to 75% of Christian men report viewing pornography at least once occasionally.
Yes. We just did that stat. Okay. All right.
Okay. So how about the early exposure? Can you read that?
Early exposure.
Early exposure.
It says the average age of first exposure in part is 11 years old.
Wow. But in porn is 11 years old for boys. That's the average age that boys get turned out to this.
Yeah.
Okay.
About 50% plus or minus, or 50% plus of teenage boys report exposure to pornography in adolescence. Around 40 to 76 of Christian young adults between 18 and 24 actively search for porn.
Wow, that's
That's a lot.
Wow. So
boys are seeing pornography before they can even drive, shaping their sexual wiring before real relational experience. Right. I mean, and we can look at Yitzhak as like a quintessential example. When Rivka is brought to him, or when Rebecca is brought to Isaac, do you know how old he was?
Like 40.
40, Shouty.
Really? 40? Wow.
40 years old.
The script actually says that 40. So it kind of proves the point, that there's a sense of sexual desire that may awaken early, and that may be to the steroids and stuff that they put in food. But you can be disciplined. That's the point. You can be disciplined,
right?
Just like our forefather was,
right? And according to Yah, Abraham he disciplined those who were in his household.
Facts.
Let me just show this about the young boys, because there are some people watching the live stream, some friends of mine, and they do have some teenagers watching tonight. So I'm going to play this.
Why is society watching more porn, and what is it doing? What's the effects on society?
We don't know. It has created a whole army of young men who are porn addicted, mostly caused by being exposed at an age when it gets in so powerfully that it becomes sort of a compulsion. Like 8, 9, 10 years old, kids are being exposed to porn. And not just porn, but, it wasn't like opening a Playboy magazine. It's hardcore stuff, and it becomes kind of traumatizing, and when things are traumatizing in that critical windows, it becomes a compulsion of preference, something you're sort of attracted to. And then it goes, and it's just more and more and more.
So are they seeing sex in a way that sex is not, it's not almost real? It's like acting?
No. They're just selecting the highest level of arousal and reward that the brain can achieve. And it's why it progresses. That's why people get into material that is problematic, because the sort of what is just sort of overwhelming for the average person becomes sort of bland if they're looking at it all the time, and they need that level. It's like any addiction, it progresses.
Why is society watching more porn?
Okay.
Wow. Wow. That's heavy. Wow. Okay, let's go to the next question. So why is pornography more destructive to young men today than past generations? Why is it more destructive today for young men than in past generations? Why is it more destructive today for adolescent, pre-adolescent boys than what it was back in the days? Why is it more what makes it more destructive today? I wonder if this is why our systems insist on youth have early access to computers and phones. Well, yeah, I'm sure that that there is some investment in that from the porn industry? I mean, at the end of the day, they want viewers. That's what they want, right? Yeah, society repressions and technology.
Yeah.
Why
So
is
you got one.
pornography? Yeah, let me
Oh, go
say
ahead.
reiterate the question. Why is pornography more destructive to young men today than past generations?
It's the social acceptance.
Mm,
Everybody's looking at it. Everybody's doing it. A long time ago,
okay,
it was taboo. Like
it's
if
taboo.
you would do it in private, you would do it in
Mhm.
secrecy. Well, now
Right.
everything is out in the forefront, and so if it's out in the forefront, right, and now you're 20, you're 24, let's say, right, and you're looking at it, well, people start to justify it. Well, I mean, he's a grown man. That's what he wants to do. That's his
Mm-hmm.
business. All right, so
Mm-hmm.
now we take it to 18. Well, he's a grown man. If that's what he wants to do. Well, now we take it to 16. Well, he's a growing young man. We've all done it. See how the language has changed?
Changing. Yeah.
Take it down to 14. I mean, he's exploring life. I mean, most people lose their virginity. Now we're justifying it,
Justifying
right?
it.
And if
Yeah.
it's accepted in society this way, then really what it does is it opens the door to pedophilia.
Oh, wow.
Because if it's socially accepted for a 14-year-old to just be out, and looking at pornography, now the natural progression of thought is, yeah, but who's shaping this reality for him? Who's teaching him?
Right.
Who's helping her? Who's teaching her? And the reality is growing up, it wasn't that girls wanted somebody that was inexperienced like them. They wanted somebody that was more experienced than them.
Right.
Even in losing their virginity, they wanted to lose it to somebody that had this experience. He had a certain, what's the word, swag about him. So, now, the idea would be, it ain't going to be too far from now where a teacher is going to get caught having some type of relationship.
That's already happening.
Well, yes, but society will justify it.
Will justify it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying is coming.
Yeah. It's just going down.
It's happening where teachers are doing it. We just haven't reached the point where society justifies.
Yeah. I see your point. Yeah, good point.
If my pastor doesn't get arrested for touching me, right, then what difference does it make if I'm a teacher? If he's a teacher and he can do it and get away with it, why can't I do it? We're both educators. Like the logical progression and the depravity of mankind is heading in that direction.
The lack of restraints, right? The lack of restraints, moral restraints. Yeah, because it is more open. You can innocently browse the web and come across porn. I've seen porn ads leak through Facebook.
Really? Wow.
Yes, I've seen it as well. It's where if you are told you are toxic and broken since youth, then find a virtual world where pleasure are met. The addiction is almost guaranteed. Yeah,
That's true.
Mhm.
And the porn is everywhere for the youth. Everything, even your computer game porn.
Yeah.
Everywhere you go, there's porn.
Yes. Female teachers get away with it more and also get lesser sentences. Yes.
Yes,
So true.
they do.
So true. So here I would go to the public library and pages would be carefully laid out on the lower levels of the bookshelves to make sure babies and small children see. Yeah, that's sick. That's sick.
Okay.
Jamal Bryant just justified it in his church by purchasing a very suggestive dress for his wife and preaching about it.
Yes.
Yeah. Exactly what you said, Brother Yahweh.
That's
Exactly it.
Okay.
All right. So here's my answer. Modern porn is free. You had to pay back in the days, right? Instant,
Yup.
limitless. Like you can literally be on your phone for 4, 5, 6 hours, right? And hyper stimulating, training young men's brains for artificial intimacy and constant novelty, constant episodes of new flick. The next flick is gonna be better than the one before. Or I just gotta find a one that's just gonna outdo the last one, and it promises you that it's gonna be better and better than the time before. Men are not pursuing women like before. It's just too much effort. They're all into themselves. They got attitudes. You know what I mean? You know, I don't want to deal with too much drama. You know, it might be costly. You know, men are not pursuing women like before and have ED problems. A lot of men are dealing with ED. A lot of young men, we're gonna see this. Young men are dealing with ED problems, erectile dysfunctions, difficulty in getting it up, premature ejaculation. These are realities, man. These are realities. Okay. In what ways does masturbation undermine a man's motivation and future? In what ways does masturbation undermine a man's motivation and future?
You already know I got something.
I know. I saw you light up. In what ways does masturbation undermine a man's motivation and future?
Well, Brother Beard says, with the modern women and her mindset, it's easier to be alone than to market for a good woman.
Yeah. You don't have to deal with the headache. Like, yeah, I mean, I know a guy. He travels overseas. He goes to DR. You know, he goes these places, right? Because it's easier. He doesn't want to deal with the drama. Doesn't want to deal with the drama. All too short circuits the minds of the youth, so they can't think straight. Your own human nature is the heroin drug to destroy you. So you can't be a productive member of society. No need to find a dealer. Yeah. Good points. Good points. Good points. You get what are you gonna say, brother?
So, undermine a man's future. It says in the script in the Torah that while when Abraham tithed to Melchizedek, that Levi tithed to Melchizedek because he was in the loins of Abraham. So, if that's true, Abraham couldn't have been masturbating because at any point in time, Levi's father would have wound up on some napkin or camel skin or whatever, leaf or whatever.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out, where is he going with this? Now when I see I don't want to go.
I mean, I'm being facetious, but I'm also being very let's look at this from a method, like a method, right? If this was an acceptable practice from the perspective of the Most High, then and this was something that Abraham participated in, it would have thwarted his whole line. Everything we know, our existence today wouldn't be here based upon that notion. If a man's mind is, I got to procreate, like I need to have more children, then, or I should be preserving my seed. Like you put yourself in a precarious situation that the best you can wind up on, something else.
The
And
ground.
so,
Yeah.
whatever. Like, like the Most High killed a man for not participating in procreation when acting out the Levirate marriage specifically.
Right.
Specifically. So my point is, there are specified times where this shouldn't even be really spoken of. One would be operating from a Levirate perspective, where you are raising up a seed for your brother. Two would be when you enter into a covenant and you are trying to procreate. Because this thwarts your whole future.
Your future, right? Because you're talking about your posterity, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I see that. I like that. What are you going to say, sis?
I just think that there's been a devaluation of the man seed in general. The whole concept.
There you go.
Yeah, the value of it.
There you go.
Right.
His word don't mean nothing, and his seed don't mean nothing.
Right.
Your womb doesn't mean nothing. Your body as a woman, your mind doesn't mean anything.
Right.
It's just flesh.
Yeah, we often forget that this extends from a command to be fruitful and to multiply. You cannot be fruitful and multiplying without releasing seed. You have to release seed. So in other words, we've been given a mandate from the Most High, right? And that is to increase. Yet to increase, but we've been so conditioned within a society to feel or think of it as insignificant, of devaluing it, right?
It's not. Yeah, it's of no value. No,
right. We're so accustomed. We've been inundated with it as just being something that is just trivial. It's not that important.
Unless it's been sold to the IVF clinics.
To the labs.
And then women pay thousands of dollars.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. Like, men will go and ejaculate in a cup for a few dollars. And I mean a few dollars. And then be responsible for the existence of 200 people.
Wow. Yeah.
There was a guy on the I think it was the Maury Povich show, where they brought him in, and he had like 40 or 50 children that he was responsible for, but that's what he did. He went and ejaculated in a cup, and then he got wise. I can't remember if he was the doctor doing the procedure, but he was like these women that would come in and desire to be artificial. He was the seed carrier.
He was a seed carrier. Yeah. I see Sister Audrey has this. Well, this is one of the passages where we're going to right here. All right. Shalom, Brother Zay. Shalom. Blessings. All right. Brother Great Beard says the unused seed is absorbed, not kept indefinitely. Yeah, within the man, but it's not supposed to be released without purpose. That's the whole point of what we're making. That Yah has a purpose for it, and Yah said what that purpose is. Right? He says what that purpose is. Right? Okay. Good. All right. So my answer is sexual energy meant to drive labor, provision, and legacy is discharged without fruit. Leaving men complacent and unfocused. Right. So sexual energy is meant to drive labor. So this is what you lose, right, through the masturbation, right? You lose the drive for labor, provision, right? Legacy is discharged without fruit. So in other words, you all this legacy that's inside you is now being discharged and it's not producing any fruit. And it leaves men complacent, because the more people masturbate, the more they become complacent and unfocused on being productive. right? So we're gonna look at some passages. Genesis 30, 38, 9, 38, 9 to 10. Okay, I got to share the screen. All right. 38, 9 to 10. Brother Yahweh, could you read that? We were just talking about this.
After the Torah apologists have read? No.
You didn't read to that. You didn't read to
I got you. Onan knew that the offspring would not be his. So he went to his brother's wife. He wasted his seed on the ground in order not to give offspring to his brother. But what he did was displeasing in the sight of Yod-Heh-Wah-Heh. So he took his life also.
All right. So the result of this man making the decision to say, you know what? This is my seed. I do with it as I will. Yah is basically saying, no, you will not do with your seed as you will. I have a purpose for your seed. Right?
Well, so this moment, by doing this, he treated her like a prostitute.
All right. Yeah, think about it. Think about it.
He just used her for sexual gratification,
and that's it.
Rather than the intended purpose,
right,
which was to produce a seed.
Right. That's like cultivating a ground and then don't never plant any seed.
Well, a ground that's not yours, that's someone else's.
And somebody else's. And that was in this instance, this was his brother's wife, right? And he cultivated it only to not put any seed in it. What a waste. Right. What a waste.
You have to explain to those who don't know the Bible, his brother was dead. She was his widow, right?
Oh, yeah, the liberate.
Yes. So it talks about So it talks about how this man was wicked in the sight of the Most High, and he took him. And so then the Levirate marriage comes into play. What the Levirate marriage is, it is when a man. All right, so the woman, when she marries the man, she belongs to the man. She takes his name. She takes upon herself his reputation. And so what happens is that if this man dies before producing specifically a son, then it is his brother's responsibility to raise up a son under his name, under his image, under his brother's name, the one that's deceased, name, image, likeness. So in essence, men, there were some that would be concerned about doing this, especially if they didn't have a firstborn son already for themselves, because now this son would be able to claim the certain inheritance rights, particularly on both sides. So imagine, right? Your brother dies, and now it's your responsibility to go in and produce this child, and this child winds up being Michael Jordan, right? But you don't get to claim him as your son.
Right.
You have to claim him as your nephew and respect him as your brother's son in all its glory, because that's what you did. You all come from the same man. Thus, you all have the same seed DNA sequence that now has produced a way or found a way to be able to honor him. Now, the reason is because as this son grows up, he gets to carry the legacy and the responsibility of this deceased brother, which would be to take care of his mother and anything that this man had, property, all that. This seed that you have essentially dedicated to your brother, which would be the ultimate form of love. Now, if that brother that died had a son, that it would be the son's responsibility. But the Levirate marriage is when there is no son.
Right? You didn't have any sons.
You now basically go in and produce that for her. So that so there is someone to carry the legacy of her deceased husband, so that his name is not blotted out of the earth.
Right. Because remember, there's two things that happen preceding that. Right. Number one, we see in the Genesis that Adam taught that the wife, when she's joined to the husband, she becomes flesh and bone with him. She becomes a part of his family. So that woman, when she's conjoined to that man, she becomes a part of his family. She is there to bring up seed in that man's family. She's there to bear the seed of that man, of his family. And so it's all interrelated. The other thing is that, with Abraham, Yah told him that he would be the father of many nations, right? Those nations are also produced through seed, right? They're produced through seed. It's not just people coming in through faith. There were people that came in through genealogy, through birth, right? Through bloodline, right? And so as a result of it, to keep those names ever in Israel, ever in Yah's kingdom, Yah created laws, established laws so that those names remain, so that Yahuwah's name remains, Mike Allen's name remains. So his law is fixated so that our names never be blotted out.
Okay.
That's the significance of it, right? Is to liberate, is to ensure that the name remains in the kingdom.
Facts.
The promise that he will have descendants, right, that he cannot even number. Yah can
That's
number,
a fact.
but Abraham wasn't going to be able to number them.
Right.
And we are coming in and being an addition to it, whether we're coming in grafted in through faith or we're coming in through the loins, being born in. But nevertheless, needless to say, we are coming in to the kingdom one by one. Right. Okay. Good. Bible lesson. All right. So here's the next one. Proverbs 13:4. On that point, the soul of the sluggard craves and gets nothing, but the soul of the diligent is made fat. How does that relate to this? Sexual energy meant to drive. So in other words, Yah made sexual energy to drive labor, right? Provision and legacy. It is discharged through it, right? Through that seed. And it is also designed to yield fruit, right? And so the sluggard, the lazy person, I don't want no babies.
Can you show the banner, Brother Michael? Show the banner.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't even realize that. I'm talking. I'm just going on, running my mouth. I'm going to read it again. The soul of the sluggard craves and gets nothing, but the soul of the diligent is made fat, right? So the sluggard will say, well, okay, well, I don't want to impregnate my woman because I don't want to bear the responsibility to have to feed another mouth. I don't want the responsibility. And so, but Yah is saying, no. Wherever I guide, I will provide. I'm giving you the commandment. I'm guiding you through my commandment. Don't worry about tomorrow, because the worries about tomorrow is sufficient for itself.
Martian. You're a Martian.
Right. But I want you, I want you to trust me today. I want you to trust me today. And don't be, but the sluggard, right, is so concerned about, having to work when they don't want to work. They're lazy and so forth and whatnot. And that's really what's thinking about. That's what they're thinking about. But the reality of what is the result of it is that they get nothing. They're not going to be rewarded, right? Another passage that comes to mind off the top of my head is Psalms 127, right?
That is about the quiver, and it's funny. I I was talking
That's
to my
27 or
mom.
125? 125. 125. Which one is acceptable? What is it? 25 or 125? Or 127 or it's 25?
Try 127.
127. That's what I thought I had. Psalms
Nope.
127. I thought that was the first
You
one.
did you had 125 up.
It just showed up in my memory. Here we go. You know what it is? It was the translation that threw me off. I had it. Yeah. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. Can you read this song?
Of course. All right. So it says, channeling my apologist, my inner apologist.
Yeah, Torah apologist. Go ahead.
Unless Yah builds the house, they labor in vain who build it. Unless Yah guards the city, the watchman keeps awake in vain. It is vain for you to rise up early, to retire late, to eat the bread of painful labors. For he gives to his beloved even in his sleep. Behold, children are a gift of Yah. The fruit of the womb is a reward.
So the children are not a curse. They are a gift. They are a reward. But our society says, oh, I see pink. Oh, my goodness. Oh, not another baby, right? When we see pink, we panic, right? No. David says it's a reward, right? This is David, right? This is David's song? Is this David's song? No, song of accents of Solomon. This is a Solomon song.
Yeah.
The man with 1,000 wives, right? This was his song, right? He says, behold, children are a gift of Yahweh, and the fruit of the womb is a reward. So children are a reward and they are a gift. And guess what? Who's doing the building? Unless Yahweh builds the house. So in other words, the intent here is that let Yah do the building, not you. You don't determine how many bricks goes on the building. Let Yah determine how many bricks are going to go in the building. Right? Okay, good.
Right.
So we are to verse 4.
Like arrows in the hand of a warrior, so are the children of one's youth. And the word for warrior is actually Gibberim, so it is being specific to men.
To men.
Yeah, my mom and I was having this debate on archery. I'm like, this isn't about archery. It's specifically about a man having children. Anyway.
Having children, right.
So are the children of one's youth. How blessed is the man whose quiver is full of them. They will not be ashamed when they speak with their enemies in the gates.
Right. So the reality is that he is describing the children like having many arrows in one's quiver, right? A bunch of arrows. What are the purpose of the arrows? The purpose of the arrows is to protect you.
Yeah.
The arrows are there to guard it, right? It's your weapon, right? Children become your weapon, right? And so when you have a whole lot of them, right? You're blessed, is what he says. This is a blessing to have a whole bunch of them. Right? Unlike what the modern society says, that it's a curse, that it's an inconvenience, that it's going to set you back, it's going to hold you back from accomplishing things in life, right? All of the opposites, right? Not so.
Well, according to President Trump, you have to get a refund back if you got them.
And notice that the people that are pro-abortion voted against Trump.
Of course.
They voted against him, right? Right. They see children as a curse. Right. They see children as a curse. Right. So it is.
I think the pornography is a way of actually preventing men from having children.
From having children. Exactly. Exactly.
Contraceptive in a way.
It's a contraceptive, right? It is actually a contraceptive. Only a contraceptive being used when there is no woman involved, right? Right. That's kind of crazy. So I guess we could do the Dr. Berg now. Dr. Berg's clinical solution. So we're gonna watch Dr. Berg's.
Y'all watch Dr. Berg?
We love Dr. Berg. Dr. Berg is the man.
Yeah, he's very good at sharing medical things.
I rock with Dr. Berg. He's one of them that I rock with.
Porn addiction once and for all. This could literally save years of misery, because chronic porn addiction doesn't just destroy someone's sex life. It destroys their ability to feel emotion, joy, pleasure from anything. Porn addiction isn't about sex. It's not about pleasure. It's about dopamine. Right now, pornography is the #1 cause of erectile dysfunction in men under 40 years old. And erectile dysfunction is not just about losing erections. It's about losing libido. It's about losing the ability to climax, causing a person to feel very empty, craving the stimulation, giving into it, and then the whole cycle starts over and over again. It's a trap. So pornography not only destroys a person's private parts and sensation for sex, but also their relationships. The porn industry is not selling sex. They're selling dopamine spikes. The biggest confusion I think people have with dopamine is they think that it's a pleasure hormone. It's not. It's actually a neurotransmitter, which is similar to a hormone, but it works within the nervous system. Dopamine is all about the anticipation before the pleasure. It's the want. It's the craving. It's the gas pedal. It's an excitatory neurotransmitter. It gets you to seek out certain things for survival. So there's other things that will give you the pleasure, but dopamine is not that. Pornography is hijacking this whole system right here, which is the basis of bad habits and addictions. There's something called the Coolidge effect. They've researched male mammals, and after mating, the interest in that mate drops. But if you take the mammal and introduce it to a new female, that desire instantly returns. So pornography tends to weaponize this. This is why watching soft porn to more hardcore porn to more extreme porn. And the reason that is because of this. Anytime you get an extreme dopamine spike, the receptors in the cell get sucked right back into the cell to the point where you get less receptors and less receptors for dopamine. And so the feedback loop basically tells the body to make more and more and more dopamine because it's not connecting to the cell. This is a very similar thing that happens with insulin resistance as well. When you consume a lot of carbohydrates over a period of time and you increase this hormone called insulin, the receptors for insulin do the exact same thing. They get sucked into the cell, and that whole mechanism causes the body to compensate and make more and more of it. So what happens over time is you get a massive amount of dopamine, which creates a massive amount of anticipation, craving, almost like an obsessive urge to watch more porn. Or if it's with insulin resistance, you're addicted now to sugar. But on the other side, the actual pleasure sensation goes lower and lower and lower and lower. And this is why a person can go from soft porn to extreme porn, because they need more and more of that to create or feel a sensation or a satisfaction. I mean, just think about our ancestors. They would go out and get food maybe every 3 days. Nowadays, we have food around us 24/7, very easy access, unlimited carbohydrates, unlimited junk food. And then think about our ancestors with mates. Very difficult to find mates. Now you can find 3 artificial mates, which of course are all fake, every 3 seconds by scrolling on a pornography site. And the porn industry knows this. They've done research on this. They have a lot of the big data. They know the soft porn goes into the extreme porn. They know how it affects dopamine and how to use this to get people more addicted. But the big problem is it's desensitizing dopamine for you. Think about the porn industry. 98 to 99% of all porn is free. The porn industry makes billions of dollars in profits from that 1 to 2% that pay for the porn. The people that are paying for the porn are completely desensitized from dopamine. Now they need extreme hardcore porn to create any stimulation at all because their dopamine receptors are literally gone. Too much of it in the body creates something called excitotoxicity. Too much excitement is toxic to your neurons. It can actually kill the nerve cells. Let me just give you another example. So let's say we're in a dark room and we turn on a flashlight, okay? So you can probably see my face right here. If I take the flashlight and shine it into your eyes, or right into my eyes right here, I'm going to squint, right? Because the light is too bright. It's too much volume. So the squinting to the light is protecting my eyes from the light. It's an adaptive mechanism. This is what's happening with your cells with dopamine. The receptors are squinting and they're not allowing this dopamine to enter the cell. That's called downregulation. So when you're in a relationship with a real person, it's slower, it's unpredictable, versus porn, which is instant, extreme. And so unfortunately, the person is in a trap. They're stuck in pictures on the internet and also in their mind. And it keeps your brain in a constant state of massive dopamine spikes. And this is where real life can't compete with this. So now let's get into the secret of how we undo this problem. The good news is that the downgraded receptors are reversible. And so what's the secret to reversing this? Being bored. Because at first you're thinking people go towards pornography originally because they're bored, but it's also a cure. I'm not talking about passively being bored with life, okay? I'm talking about actively being bored with the screaming dopamine that is inside you, telling you to go watch porn. I know personally, I hate being bored. I will keep myself super busy all the time to prevent boredom because sometimes it's very, very painful just sitting around doing nothing. But I want you to use boredom as a weapon, okay? Let me explain. Think about porn as this screaming person. You can give in to the screaming, you can yell back at the screaming, or better yet, you can go into a state of boredom. And the more obsessive this urge, the more you sit back and just get bored on purpose, aggressively being bored. Because just like insulin resistance, right? You're gonna go on a fast. You're gonna stop eating carbohydrates. There has to be something you're gonna have to do to avoid this dopamine spike. And boredom is the best way to do a dopamine fast.
It's amazing how he's able to just break that down. You know, you can literally give you the little pictures and everything.
Yeah,
What do
very
you
good.
what do you guys think of that? What do you think of what Dr. Berg says here? In terms of the dopamine and the receptors are squinting, right? Trying to
The
prevent.
church would have said, well, you just need to go on a fast.
You just need to go on a fast, yeah.
But
Yeah.
essentially, instead of saying a fast, he changed the word around and said, you need to allow
Be
yourself
bored.
to be bored.
Be bored. Right. So being bored from, and I think the point that he's making is being bored from overstimulation.
Overstimulation, yeah.
Right.
It's a good solution in the worldly sense
In the worldly
because
clinical sense, yeah.
because if you're all hyperly burnt that out, the only way to regain the ability to smell the roses is to start trying to smell the roses and stop doing anything else, right?
Right. And it's just amazing how, you know, the statistic that he, you know, put out, like under 40, you're talking about erectile dysfunction, like
Under 40,
you're 30 years old, you know, and you can't get it up. Like, that's bad. That's bad. But that's what the effects of. Somebody asked a question here in the comment section about
What, this one?
is masturbation sin, and where's it stated in the Bible? What's your answer to that, Ak? Is masturbation sin?
How you use your body is your decision.
Mm-hmm.
What you have to keep in mind is you will give an account for how you used your members.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in a situation, right, and now we talk about, well, I have this desire and da 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 da, right? Well, then here's where the question of self-control comes into play. And where or how do you exercise self-control? Because if you don't have self-control, then it would stand to reason why, if you're not married, maybe why you're not married. Because the one thing that you do need in a marriage is the ability to exercise self-control. If you can self-regulate, control over yourself, you can prevent this from saying something that's going to be harmful to her, that would cause her to not be chemically desiring you, and then the same vice versa. If you, female, can tame this, you will do wonders for causing him to be chemically attracted to you. Now, if you're not married or in a situation like that, then this is what you kind of got to ask yourself is, who taught you that you should masturbate? Like, who introduced this to you?
Mm.
More than likely, it wasn't the scriptures. Keep that in mind. All right. Now, if you do decide to use your members, to masturbate, whatever, and I recognize there is a difference between a male masturbating and a female masturbating. She's not releasing sperm. Like, I get the logic. What I'm saying is, more than likely, in order to be successful at it, you have to have an image in your mind. And if you have an image in your mind, and that image is of a woman who does not belong to you, then you might be really wrong for that. You might be committing adultery the type of adultery that Mashiach spoke of, where you looking at a woman, lusting after her for yourself. That belongs to someone else. It does not matter if she puts herself out there like that. The onus is not on what she does. The onus is on you for how you control your members. So if you are looking at pornography or thinking of someone that does not belong to you in this way to do this, then you might be in grave error. Now, if you in a marriage and your wife just is like, I don't feel it like you feel it. I just I struggle with meeting this need for you. Maybe you should consider a hard look at polygyny, so that you're not drawn to your own lusts in this way.
Mm-hmm.
If you are a woman who's struggling with this, then it may be incumbent upon you to have conversations with your ish about ways that maybe he can adjust your sex life to actually bring you pleasure as well. But is masturbation the answer? I think masturbation is an extremely slippery slope, pun intended, because it's opening doors to things, realms, even spiritually. They talk about incubus and succubus and all. Like, you're opening yourself up to a world that is not pleasing to the Most High.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Yeah. And you got to keep in mind, if you're a man specifically and you are masturbating and you're killing off that, like, that's a seed you will never get back.
Mm-hmm. Can't get it back. Right.
Can't get it back.
Yeah.
Can't get it back.
Yeah. I mean, we know that sin is a transgression. It's the breaking of Yah's laws, right? But there are definitely laws that are not mentioned, or there are things that may not be mentioned in the law, in the Torah, but somehow we know those things to be wrong, right? Now, like for instance, the idea of pedophilia, marrying and having sex with a 2-year-old, right? Right? There's something inside of us that tells us that's wrong. There's no specific Torah that speaks against abortion, but there's something inside of us that lets us know that it's kind of hard to say that that's not murder, right? But there's no specific law that says that you can't abort your child, right? Or you shouldn't abort your child, right? So in other words, one of the things that we have to recognize is that human beings invent evil. And the body of laws that were given to Moshe at Mount Sinai didn't stop. He did not stop receiving them that day. Over 40 years, it accumulated to 613 of them. Right? So the idea that human beings have to receive laws progressively, more and more laws as time goes on, only shows that human beings invent evil as time goes on. There was no need to say to Adam and Eve, thou shalt not commit murder. You know why? Because it wasn't an issue that human beings invented until we seen Cain and Abel. You get what I'm saying? Over time, human beings invent evil. So just because there's no specific Torah that says that masturbation is not right, it does not mean that it's okay. It does not mean that it's not a sin.
Right.
You understand? So in other words, how do we know that something is a sin, even though there may not be an explicit law that says it is a sin? Well, we can tell that it's a sin by deducing, is there any other laws does it violate? Does it imply guilt in some other way? Are there circumstantial, incidental laws that are being broken? Right? Because we don't just convict people because we necessarily got a murder weapon, a videotape, and DNA. We convict people even through circumstantial evidence. Right? And that's universal. That's not just in one country. That's around the world. Right? We will convict people based on circumstantial evidence. Right? Why? Because there's other ways of proving that something is wrong other than the body of constitutional laws that you already may have. And so again, we didn't get to the 613 laws because there were people that died before the full compilation of laws or list of laws were handed down. Right? There were people that actually died, right? Shortly after the 10 Commandments were given. Right? So what does that mean? And we know for a fact, while they were in the wilderness, there were laws that were added because of some of the things that were done in the wilderness. Why? Because human beings invent evil over time. We become progressive with it. Evil wax worse. Just like how porn addiction wax worse. That's just the nature of evil. It's just to deteriorate and become worse and worse and worse. Look, the enemy starts off with a little lie. His ultimate goal is death. It will progress and become worse. It would, like he says, like Yahweh says, a stair step, going further down and down and down and down the further you go. Each step you take hits you further down. That's just that's just the nature of evil. Right? Yeah. So that's just my piece on it. So to me, you can't tell me that masturbation is not, in some way, shape, or form inherent with evil. And if you are there, you don't have a woman. This is not something going on with you and your woman, and you're watching porn, definitely, or you're just imagining the girl next door, right? Who's not your woman, right? You can't tell me that's not sin. You can't tell me that's not a sin, right? Right? Right. So now what a couple does between each other, that's a whole nother thing, right? Something different. That's the same argument from silence that the monogamy only crowd. Yeah, this is true. It just feels wrong, or we know it's wrong or right. But here's the problem: the monogamy only society
We have laws specifically
related that let
polygyny.
right, and that's the difference. And so what Yahweh says, it's very hard to engage in masturbation and not use your imagination. It's very hard to engage in masturbation and you not engage in waste, which is a sin. Remember Yeshua's talent, the story of the talents, right? That whole thing about the man burying his talent was about waste, right? Think of all the proverbs that Solomon, we just read one earlier about being a sluggard, being wasteful of time, right?
Yeah.
So there are so many implied laws that we already have written that lets you know that there's something wrong about masturbation. It doesn't have to have an explicit commandment to let you know that there's something wrong with it. Just like we know that there's got to be something wrong with a man marrying a 2-year-old baby and having sex with that 2-year-old baby. Even though there's no explicit laws against it in Torah. Right?
That's right.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So are there other laws that will let us know that there's something wrong with it? Right? Or imply that there's something wrong with it. That's how we got to dig this thing out. We can't just say, well, okay, there's no letter. There's no explicit letter that's written against it. I don't see an explicit letter, so that means it's okay to do it. No, I think you're just looking for a loophole. You're just looking for a loophole. You know, at the end of the day, that's what you're doing. Because people do that with the Constitution all the time, right? They look for loopholes because they don't really want to do what's right. People look for loopholes oftentimes because they don't want to do the thing that's right. The purpose of Yah's law is for us to want to do things that are pleasing to him. Things that are right, righteous in his eyes. And the purpose of his body of laws is for that very reason, to get us to do what's right in his eye, what's pleasing to him. Not so that I can get away with my fetish. Or the thing that I don't want to give up that has control over me. It's not a sin. So what? I'm addicted to masturbation. It's not a sin. Right? Right? It's not a sin. Right? We have some banners. I think we're gonna have to continue this because I'm looking at the time. It's 11:38. Yeah, it's 11:38. But I do think that we do at least need to do this one banner, because we have to give some sort of balance to what we're talking about here tonight. And it's the next one, so to say, right? And that would be this one right here. How does embracing biblical polygamy and biblical patriarchy restore order to male sexual desire? So porn addiction has caused a man to lose control over his sexual desire. How, on the flip side, does biblical polygamy and biblical patriarchy how can it be used by Yah to restore that order? That's the same question said another way. Anybody in the Audrey Berry, Audrey Berry, I love what you said. Satan is the father of loopholes. He's the father of loopholes. Man. He is the father of loopholes. And I'm sorry, but a lot of brothers in the Torah community, look for loopholes, right? Because they don't want to give a certain behavior lifestyle up.
That's a good point.
They don't want to give it up. Vice versa, polygyny can allow a man to fully express his desires with his wives who allow him variety. Exactly. And what does that do to his strength? Because here's two polar opposites. Which of the two reinforces a man's strength to resist pornography? Is it prescriptive monogamy, or it's a man knowing that not only knowing that he has a right to more than one wives and has more than one wives, his wives are okay with the fact of him having more than wives? Which one is going to make that man stronger? Which one is going to reinforce strength in that man? Is it prescriptive monogamy, a man being bound to a prescriptive monogamous ideology, right? Who only thinks that he can, or he's only allowed one, even though he desires more, right? On the down low, on the DL, right? As opposed to the other man, right? The man B, right? He believes in polygyny. He believes it's right. He embraces it. He even has multiple wives. Which man is going to grow stronger? Is it the prescriptive monogamous man in his sexual drive, or is it the polygynous man or the patriarchal man?
The patriarchal man.
Yeah, I like how Viceroy said this may allow him to wax mighty. I like how he said that, Viceroy. And patriarchy is obviously the best way. It's the father's way, right? So obviously, hands down, patriarchy. I think most people here on this platform are gonna say that patriarchy, biblical polygyny, is definitely going to get a man's strength to restore order in his sexual desire. Right. Okay. So here's my answer. Biblical polygyny and patriarchal channel male sexual desire into lawful responsibility, provision, and leadership, restoring order by giving sexual desire a righteous outlet instead of suppressing it. That's what it does. It allows for it to flourish as opposed to suppressing it. Right? Prescriptive monogamy suppresses it, right? Even though the man has these natural inclinations, it's suppressed. Right? It's suppressed. Right? Okay. Supporting scriptures. Genesis 2:18. Desire is met through divinely ordered union, not isolation. Right? So Yah met Adam with a helpmeet that was suitable, right? So when he saw her, he had desire. Think about it. Eve was naked when he saw her. So it ain't like she had some clothes on. She wasn't dressed like a nun. She was naked. He saw it and he was attracted to it. Right? And so when that desire was met with divinely order, because when he saw it, he said, I gotta marry it. That was the first thing that he thought. He didn't say, I gotta hit it. He said, I gotta marry it. That was his response. Because Yah presented her to him to see how he would respond. So desire is met through divinely ordered union, not isolation. Right? 1 Corinthians 7:2 says marriage is given to guard against sexual immorality. So if being hooked on porn is a form of sexual immorality, what is the solution?
Marriage.
Less marriage or more marriage? Right? Because what prescriptive monogamy says, well, the solution is you need to have one woman and one woman only. That'll help you with the porn.
No,
right?
it won't.
Not necessarily, right? And the Greek word that Paul uses there in 1 Corinthians 7:2 implies that the man can have multiple women.
Yes. What
Right?
I'm speaking of is, oh, excuse me, my phone had fallen. Is the patriarchal order. If you have a wife that is unruly and disrespectful, and then you get another wife who's not that way, she has a chance of being influenced by the first one. So
Right.
if you got a wife that's like, nah, I'm not giving you none and this and that and whoop 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 whoop, and then you're like, fine. So you go get a second one and bring her in, and she gets to watch how this first one treats you. She gets her way. It's very possible that the second one's gonna be like, well, her way is working. She's getting what she wants.
What she wants.
I'm gonna do it her way.
Right. And she don't have to live.
And then you get a third. And then
Right.
she follow like so the first order of business is getting your house in order. Finding
Right.
out what it is that's restricting something that should be unrestricted. There's only one period of time or two periods of time where that should be restricted. And that's when she's
Right.
on her cycle, and that's after she's given birth.
Right.
For the
Right.
for the period of time that's identified in Torah. Outside of that,
Right. So it would
oh
it would
goody.
right. Right. So it would be that it would be a desire that is met through divinely ordered union.
Right.
Right. So it would be a union, not just because it's a union, not just because it's multiple unions. It's unions that are met through divine order.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Right. Okay. Good. All right. So, and this last banner here is John 8:31-32. So Yeshua was saying to those Jews who had believed him, if you continue in my word, then you are truly disciples of mine, and you will know the truth, and the truth will make you free. So what's going to free you from whatever your vices is in life? What's going to free you from whatever sin that has you burdened down? Whatever has you captive? Whatever has you chained? Whatever has you bound? Right? Whatever has you sick? Right? He says, if you continue in my word, then you are truly my disciples. So continue in his word definitely means as you learn the word, you are applying the word and you are living the word. Right? It's more than just learning more scriptures. It's about learning the word to apply the word and live the word, right? So you are truly my disciples and you will know the truth and the truth will make you free. So what makes you free? It's the discipling that's in submission to the truth of his that you learn that you've continued in. When you've continued in this is going to give you a knowledge of the truth, right? Continuing in his word is going to give you the knowledge of his truth, and that truth is going to make you free.
Amen. Amen.
So a quick rundown solution to porn addiction is the type of truth that makes you free that comes from continuing as Yeshua's disciple. The type of word, the type of knowledge that he gives, that he teaches. If you continue in that, it's going to give you a knowledge of the truth that's going to make you free. That's his point. So the question is porn one of those things that you could be made free from through this process? Right? And let the church say.
Amen. I think there's nothing that the truth can't break you from.
Nothing that it can't break you.
Not just like
overruled. Overruled. Counsel, if you outbreak like that one more time, I'm gonna hold you in contempt.
Somebody been watching Law and Order.
I used to be a law clerk, so yeah.
Oh.
Yes, I worked in the court. But so yeah, so let's stop it here. We can pick up on this another time. I think we can actually go a little bit deeper into this because there's some more banners and questions that really takes this deep, because I think this is a very important topic. And I don't think it's something that we should just try to rush through,
Sure,
right?
sure, 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 sure.
Yeah, I think this is important. I think what was a brother, I think his name is Bay or something like that, he was sending accolades to Sister Deborah and myself, that he's definitely appreciating us putting this topic in effect tonight.
Yeah.
Hopefully you guys have gotten something out of this. Hopefully if you got something out of it, you learned something, you like what what we talked about, what we discussed. So with that being said, the question would be is, what are we saying here?
We ain't saying
Jack.
I think that this conversation is so needed, because right now AI is coming out of its own personalized porn. People are going to be intimidated with so much more, creating new evils, right? Creating new evils.
Creating new evils. Creating new evils, right?
And I'm curious about exploring the boundary of Torah, because truth is the Torah, right? And I'm looking forward to the discussion you'll have, the teaching, because there's principles about the Torah that secure us, even if we create new evils, that shows us the border of Yah's regulations. And it'd be interesting.
Right.
So I'm looking forward to hearing that with your brothers next time.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, this is all the more reason why we need to be accepting all of his word. And that's why Yeshua's point is, you get closer to freedom the more you embrace my word. It's not, okay, well, I have a few scriptures over here and I'm just going to run with that. Like, no, you need the full revelation, the full gospel. Right. And so it's so important to contextualize all the scripture. Right. It's not enough, right, to say, okay, I don't see it here and what I saw here. No, are you taking the whole body into context? And that's key. And I think that's where, I mean, certainly that's the issue. And we talked about this, when we I think during the fall or in the summertime, when we were talking about, threesomes, right? We touched on that here on the live stream. And that's really what I think that's really what a lot of brothers miss. They miss this idea. It doesn't have to be explicitly stated in Torah. You don't have to have the explicit law to know that it's wrong, right? To know that there's something wrong with it there. There's enough body of evidence, circumstantially, right? Incidentally, right? That reveals that there's an evil nature about this.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? And so it's the same thing when you talk about this. I mean, because there's a myriad of things that we know today to be wrong, but yeah, you can't find a scripture on it. Right? You can't. Right? Voter suppression is not in the Bible. But we could say that is wrong, right? It's not in the Bible. Right? Right? Why? Because it wasn't in the Bible back then, because it wasn't an issue, because they had kingdoms. They didn't have democracies. Right? So contextually, it's not there. In other words, people didn't have to worry about getting cyber protection.
Bullied,
right?
Yeah.
Didn't have to worry about that in Moses' day. Right? It didn't exist. Right? So we invent evil as time goes on, but we know that what do you call it? Cyberbullying is wrong. We know that hacking into somebody's what's the name is wrong, right? We know that, right? But there was no laws for it in the 10 Commandments. There's no laws for it in the Torah, right?
Thou shalt not steal.
Thou shalt not steal, right? Thou shalt not steal. Know that the nature of it is wrong, right?
And love your neighbor as yourself, right?
But it lets us know that the nature of it is wrong.
Yeah,
that's the point that I'm making.
And love your neighbor as yourself.
And you love your neighbor as yourself. Exactly.
And your first neighbor is your wife or your husband.
Your wife and your wife or your husband.
So if you are married, sometimes you gotta deny yourself to provide.
Exactly. That's
what you signed up to do.
And that's how the people of Yeshua's day, what he was saying was like he was talking from another planet. but he wasn't saying nothing different. Wasn't already in the book.
In Torah.
Right.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He contextualized the whole book, and he
Come
was
on.
able to bring out understanding that the teachers of his day they drowned in. They went over their heads.
Mm-hmm.
Facts.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so he was able to draw from "thou shalt not covet" to say that that's lust in the heart of someone else's woman.
Mm-hmm.
But they wasn't getting that in the synagogues. They wasn't getting that
That's
level of teaching in the synagogues, right? It went over
right.
that because there was no
Because they
explicit
didn't
commandment
understand.
that says that you can't look at somebody's wife, right? You know, and
And
that
desire
means that
her.
you're gonna have lust in your heart, right? There's no specific command that says that that's lust in the heart. Where he get that from? Where should he get that from? Right? That's not in the Torah. Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yes. Yeah. So I have fun. Hopefully you guys have fun. If you had fun today, put a 1 in the chat. You know, thank you.
And the words of the infamous street prophet. Whoop, there it is.
We're gonna start muting Yahuwah's mic, man.
No, he's
Learning stuff.
He's great. Here we go. Read your
He
Torah
said,
for
"Read the book
yourself.
for yourself. Meditate on Almighty Abba, Yah's Torah." Exactly.
Yes,
Exactly.
amen.
Exactly.
Amen.
Yeah, Brother
Exactly.
Mike. Yeah.
Exactly. So, uh, any prayer requests today? Anyone have a prayer? Because when we close out, definitely we're gonna have a mass prayer request for anyone who has a prayer request for today. So definitely you can write it in the chat or just call it out yourself or write it down or whatever. Keep it in your mind, but we're gonna pray for the prayer request today. And the other one is our announcements is how modern women are polyandrous at best. That's what we're going to be doing, y'all willing, next week, Monday. How modern women are polyandrous at best.
We're going to talk about that on Monday. Yes.
We're going to talk about that. Polyandrous at best.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, yeah. That's for next week.
Well, I declare.
For next week. That's for next week. Can
I make another announcement in the sense that just encouraging those of you who have not yet done it to join the email list.
Yes, digging in the word. Definitely. I'm gonna let me run my email up. Definitely send the email. Send me and say, hey, Brother Mike. That's it. Now you're on the email list. Okay. I said, I just want you to just say, hey, Brother Mike, so I can put you on the email list. All right. So that we can send you the notifications. And definitely call for wisdom. You want to get in contact with Sister D? This is how you get in contact with her. Contact Sister Deborah at Call for Wisdom. Those are the call letters of her YouTube channel. Go right on over there. She has an email address. You can email her. Definitely get in contact with her over there. Like, share, subscribe her channel, and share it again. And definitely Tree of the Field, Brother Noah. He wasn't here with us tonight, but this is the call. These are the call letters of his channel. Tree of the Field. Go on over there. Like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. And he was here with us briefly. We saw his avatar, the Word of the Sword Men. That's Brother Jeremy, but he had to leave earlier. He had some things that he was addressing this evening. And if you got some questions for Brother Yahuwah, this is his email address. This is a way to get in contact with him, right? And the music that we played, the theme music and everything, he was under the weather, he said tonight. So we definitely want to pray for him tonight. Torah apologist. This is his YouTube channel. It is the Torah apologist on YouTube, right? And you can go on over there and you can connect with him. So, Aki, could you be so kind and close us out on a word of prayer and send up a mass prayer for all of those requests, please? Appreciate you.
Okay. Yeah. Abiyah, we come before you right now, and we say Torah Rabbah, for allowing your word to reign supreme in this conversation. this live stream. We ask that as we continue our lives, that we continue in your word, and that we bring honor and glory to your name. We are compelled to honor you with our thoughts, and so we ask that you help us to purge our minds so that we meditate on your word day and night, as Malek Dawi says, as he wrote about. We ask that you purge our hearts or our desires, so that we only desire, to bring honor and glory to you through our members, through our desires. And in doing so, according to the topic, we ask that you help us to, even in our sexual relationships, that we bring honor and glory to your name through how we use our bodies for in the confines that you have designed. We ask that you forgive your people of any way that is not like you, and we ask that you help us all to conform to the image of Mashiach, or the Messiah, for the uplifting of your kingdom. As we are conforming to be kingdom citizens, we ask that your hand be upon the identified as Torah apologist and his body, that you bring healing as Yah Rapha to him. But not just him. We ask that you spread your net far and wide across your people, and that you bring healing to the bodies of your people. We ask, Abba Yah, that additionally, that you be with all those that are at this time that are pregnant and carrying children of righteous men, that you be with them in their pregnancies, that you protect them through a safe delivery and recovery. We ask for your sons that desire to have righteous wives, that you lead them and you guide them to the women that you would have them to pair with, so that we can do the most righteous thing, and that is bring up righteous seed in the earth to bring honor and glory to your name. We ask that if we are engaging in any way, whether it's pornography or prostitution or anything of the sort, that you cut those things off from us, so that we can be the best representative of you as possible. We ask, Abba Yah, that you deal with your sons, that they use language that builds their house and not tears them down. We ask that you deal with your daughters, that they use language that builds up and not tears down the homes that are being built right now, that children in their mind are being fortified, that we not misuse AI or the internet resources that are available to us, as well as magazines and tapes and DVDs. We ask that, because the intent is to bring glory to you, and all the ways that we have violated your instruction, we ask that you forgive us, that you cast our actions into the sea of forgetfulness, and that moving forward, we do right by your name that we are called by. We ask that you grant traveling mercies to your children as they go to and fro work, whether it be in the snow or the rest of the super smart people who chose not to be in areas where there's snow, unless you like snow. And Hashem Yehoshua and Hashem Yah. Hallelujah.
Oh my goodness.
Hold on a second. I'm sending somebody. I'm texting somebody right now. Right. Yo, you're gonna start with those snow jokes, man. Start with those snow jokes.
Somebody asked me, if the Most High called you to New York, would you go? I was like, I would visit.
All right. It's all right. It's okay. It's okay. That's okay. You don't know what you're missing.
Look, I know what I'm missing.
Welcome to the deep side.
I missed the east side.
Digging in the word, yeah, we going in deep. Truth for your heart and the wisdom you keep. Line by line, every seed gon' grow. With Mike Allen breaking down what you need to know. Digging in the word, let the spirit speak.
Shalom, brother Vice Boy. Blessings to you.
Every page turn, hit your soul so clean. Digging in the word, where the truth is seen.
Turn it up now, let the word unfold. Breaking down scripture with a fire so bold. From Genesis lines to the prophets and kings. We're learning how to walk through the storms life brings. Hope for the hurting, peace for the day. Mike Allen brings the truth in a fresh new way. Open up your heart, let the message be heard. This is real life talk when we dig in the word.
I'll see y'all. I'll see y'all later.
Blessed you, brother.
God willing. Talk to you soon.
God willing, blessed to give you a call.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
You know who's on his way.
This guy.
The truth is seen. Bible in your hand, mind locked in place. Truth on the mic, this is food for your faith. We don't chase hype, just the Father we serve. And every episode hits you right in the word. Step by step, yeah,
what's up, baby?
Breaking down darkness with truth so bright. So relax, lean in, let the message be heard. This is Mike Allen, digging in the word. Oh, yeah. Digging in the word, so deep. Mike Allen on the mic every week. Digging in the word. Fade with ad-libs. Yeah. Keep digging. Keep growing. Stay in the truth.
Daughters of Zion, arise, take your place. We walk in the fear of Yah, truth on our face. We're learning His order, we're walking in grace, restoring the ancient past we once misplaced. Modest and mighty, refined by the fire. Our hearts set apart for our King we desire. Submission is strength, not weakness or shame. We honor the head and we lift up His name. Side. restoring our tribe. In covenant joy, we finally thrive. We call for wisdom, let her voice be heard. Sister Deborah teaching God's holy word. We're healed, we rise, no fear inside. In righteous order, we stand by your side. Call for wisdom, daughters align. For wisdom, hearts and minds refined. In Yah's design, we're strong, we shine. Call for wisdom, our faith divine. From broken to whole, Yah mends every scar. No more confusion, we know who we are. Restored and redeemed, we honor his way. Set apart daughters, we walk in Yah's reign. Wisdom, call for wisdom. Call for wisdom. We call for wisdom, let her voice be heard. Wisdom, Sister Deborah teaching Yah's holy word. We rise as queens in Yah's design. Call for wisdom, our light will shine. Call for wisdom. Call for wisdom. Sister Deborah.
Thank you, everybody, for
Lead us
support.
on,
It's all
and
good.
yeah, we belong.
All right, all right, all right, all right. It's a short playlist for tonight. Yeah, we're working out some copyright kinks, so I'm not able to play the rest of the other songs that I have because Torah Apologist is blowing up. And so therefore YouTube don't play any games when it comes to copyright restrictions. And so what I was allowed to do, I'm not allowed. So only these two songs I'm able to play at this point. But we're gonna work out those kinks. I'm gonna work out something with him. Because we definitely know that you guys enjoy listening to his music. So we're gonna make for a way that there can be a possibility to continue to play the music and it does not if negatively infect the channel, right? So, but that's neither here nor there. I had fun tonight.
It was really fun. Thank you, everybody, for joining us this evening.
Yes, yes,
Bye-bye.
yes.
Shalom, everybody.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. All right, so for King and Kingdom, we bid you shalom. Good night, all. Blessings. We love you.